going.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It's the first thing we're doing. I kind of like. Well, it's not really a morning. It's morning for 6 more minutes. I guess technically, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you guys end your morning at noon, or is your morning?
Yeah, I end my morning at noon unless I wake up at noon, and then I let it slide into 3.
Jeff, you don't ever wake up at noon.
No, this guy's always doing some. I always see you there, first in, last out, man.
Yeah. I got a rep. I got a rep to protect.
Can you hear us? Okay.
I can hear you just
all
fine.
right. Can you hear yourself? Pretty good.
Let me see. Yes, I can.
A little more.
Yep,
right,
that's good.
That's good. All right. I think we got it going well, Mr. Van. All right. Where are we putting this?
This is Thursday 1.
Thursday 1. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. You can be live on Twitch and YouTube as well. Well, you know, I shouldn't have said that. I don't want you competing with us. Just come and watch us. Because you may be better than us, and I don't need that. Because there's a lot of people that are better than us. I don't need any of that.
Yeah, if you
just come and watch.
If you want to watch the live videos or see the videos, either twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
Yes.
Or Tom and Dan Live on YouTube Live.
Yes, sir. Man, you got that right. He nailed it.
So we've got some guests in studio on the couch.
2 of our favorites, I would say.
Yeah, Jeff and Dino Jimmy are here. How you guys doing?
Very good to see you.
What's
guys.
up, everybody?
Good to see you.
The Orlando Science Center, of course, there's a dinosaur a weekend going on this weekend.
Yes.
So, Jeff, let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, Tom. It's called the Paleontology Party. It's December 14th and 15th. We are going to have some awesome guest experts like our friend Jimmy here. Going to do some really cool presentations, lots of fossils, and we've got Savannah from Gatorland coming out.
Oh,
We just
awesome.
saw
We
her.
just saw her this
Hung out
weekend.
with her.
Yeah, talking about gators and crocodiles and the similar habitats between them and
Did you
dinosaurs.
get my? You must have gotten my show notes because I have a question that goes directly from Savannah to Mike from Gatorland to Dino Jimmy.
No,
Like
really?
it's the only question I wrote down to ask.
We're plugged in.
Yeah,
That's all I got
I mean
to
you're
tell you.
killing it, dude.
Yes.
Gator teeth. Not to jump right into it, but I learned this weekend that gator's teeth because I saw a gator and it had like a tooth growing out of the side of its head.
Yeah.
And when they're knocking their brains around and fighting for domination and getting chicken and stuff, right? Just like dinosaurs, some of those teeth get misplaced or knocked around and then they grow weird.
Yeah, they grow through the gator's mouth.
Yeah, and then I learned that the gator's teeth are kind of like Dixie cups where they'll just like keep coming out. Are dino teeth like gator teeth? Or are we talking different teeth?
They are similar in a couple of different and very important ways. So dinosaurs, much like alligators and much like sharks, continually grew their teeth throughout their life because they needed those on a daily basis.
Gotcha.
And we only get our 2 sets as mammals and human beings. We only get our baby teeth, and then everything else we got to order on the internet.
Oh, we need more on Florida, by the way.
Oh my God. Our listeners, holy smokes!
We got a few.
You could dig for their fossils all around. You could just dig for our listeners' teeth.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. There's plenty of teeth to go around in the dinosaur hunting field, and so when you look at a gator's tooth, you can see the kind of diet that it has because their teeth are they're little cone shaped, but they've also got these grooves on them. So that way when they're biting down into something, they hold a good grip on it, and then they go into that death roll and they spin around and tear all the meat off. Some dinosaurs have very similar kinds of grooves. Like one, for example, Spinosaurus.
All right.
Spinosaurus was this huge carnivore that lived in what is now Morocco and North Africa.
We were just talking about Morocco. Jenna Hurt spends all her time in Morocco.
Morocco, it's one of those places on my bucket list. I want to get out there.
I got a lady.
Let's do it.
I can get you there, dude. What if we took Dino Jimmy and Jenna Hurt to Morocco and took our listeners?
Are they still finding fossils in Morocco?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. In fact, we're learning a lot more about Spinosaurus in the last few years because of the new discoveries we're able to make. There's a movie that I'm in called Why Dinosaurs that we actually cover the recent discoveries of Spinosaurus's big paddle-like tail pretty much at length, and that'll be something I'll be happy to come back and talk.
No,
with
he
you guys more
said
about
he was
that,
in
too.
a movie to knock you down a peg.
No,
I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
And I saw in your eyes.
He
you're like,
knows
"Whoa."
more.
Yeah, he does. He does. This guy's got the goods, man.
And then back to the Science Center because there's also Dinos and Lights going on now through January 6th.
I love it.
And that happens every 30 minutes from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And basically, Jeff, it's a light extravaganza all around the dinosaur fossils.
Yeah.
And
you take lights, you take dinos, we smash it together. It's like taking 2 of Like even me, I was gonna say children's like favorite things in the world, but I'll just say me. You take two of my favorite things, Christmas lights and dinosaurs, you smush them together.
Yeah. And that's how we got a beloved holiday tradition. We've been doing Dinos and Lights for a few years now. We do it every holiday season. It really kind of inspired doing the Paleo Party in December as well, so we could include Dinos and Lights in that. We've got these awesome guests like Jimmy and Savannah. We've got some amazing fossil displays. We've got a cool giant screen movie called Dinosaurs Alive, which does some really cool computer animation to bring dinosaurs back to life for us. So this weekend, all about dinosaurs, but Dinos and Lights, really awesome. Great holiday music tied in with
cool.
Dinosaurs and Lights. A different song every 30 minutes. A lot of fun, and that's playing throughout the holidays.
Can I tell you, I absolutely love Dinos and Lights. I've seen it. It's something that they do. They get better and better every single year. Can you look at how like all these houses online are competing for the wildest and the craziest house displays, and they're all going to be second place in my book because not one of them incorporates a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Science Center has a lit up, music synced T-Rex.
Can I tell you why I love this? I may have said this last year, or like when Jeff, you may have heard this, but I'm going to just tell you why I love this.
Yeah.
And I know Tom knows the answer to this. I like it when we take things that are super serious and super expensive and rare, and then we do weird things to them, like wrapping them in cheap-ass Christmas lights. That's my favorite thing. Like, I like
coolest.
taking things that mean everything to the world and then making them a little more dumb. And I think that makes it more fun. I just think it's, like, there's nothing better than taking, like, our Tyrannosaurus. We're very lucky to have that T-Rex here in Orlando.
Very much so.
Let's wrap it in lights. That's what I say, man.
It's the coolest thing.
I say bringing a little bit of the holiday spirit to things.
Yes.
But, you know, tomato.
Sure, that's true.
Wrap it in
Well,
lights.
you're more of a normal, more of a normal, good citizen. You know.
You mentioned a dinosaur movie that you guys are playing. Maybe you'll think about playing the 1990s sitcom Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Yes. Love the mama.
It's so sad.
It's not the mama.
Not the mama.
We're close.
Yeah.
Jimmy's got a dead on. Like,
Which-
you could be the baby.
Which may be one
One
of the
more childhood dream to knock off the
Do
list.
you own all the stuff? Should I not be asking that? Is that an embarrassing question?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But that's been really cool to see that a lot of the original props and puppets from the Dinosaurs TV show are making their way. Like some of them are showing up on like eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and now you can get the figures at like Target. They're there now.
The
and
show
really cool.
is hotter than it was when it was on TV.
Jimmy, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dinosaurs, the 90s sitcom,
Yeah.
the premise of that was that the meteor didn't hit. I think this was the premise. And the dinosaurs evolved to get smarter and smarter until they basically started having normal lives like us.
Right. Didn't they
Go
destroy
to
the
work.
world?
Yeah. And the meteor came at the end.
Came
there,
back, yeah.
But
They had a different, they explored a different extinction theory, for sure.
so I'm sure there's paleontologists, there's scientists that have theorized what the world would have been if the meteor didn't cause the dinosaurs to become extinct. Would they have become smarter to a point where, I know evolution doesn't necessarily work like that. It kind of works for you to live, not necessarily to get smart. But do you think dinosaurs would have reached a point where they're ultra smart?
I don't know if we would have reached honeymooners without pants level of
That's a great
evolutionary
thing. You know what? I
science.
do everything you were saying when you said that. So I appreciate you bringing it down to my level.
No, it's
To
one of those
the
things.
moon, Alice.
No, so yeah, it's important to understand as well that evolution is a verb. You know, science is a verb. It's not a noun. It's not just a thing that happens. It's a process of how animals change and adapt to their environments over time. And so, yeah, we see that dinosaurs were able to continue even throughout the three periods we had them. So the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. In the Triassic, everybody looked the same. They were all long tail, long neck. You know,
Wait a minute. What are the periods again?
Triassic.
I feel like you just named like George Foreman's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the George period, we got the George period, and then we got the George
Nine
period.
different George periods. Yeah.
No, the Triassic was named because they found 3 different kinds of minerals when they first identified it. So yeah, we're going to call this. The Jurassic is when dinosaurs got at some of their biggest. So that's when we got the really big ones like Apatosaurus and Brachiosaurus and cool things like that. And then the Cretaceous, which is when they had a lot of chalky layers.
That would be my name. My name's Cretaceous, baby. Cretaceous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
And so that's when we have like the most diverse dinosaurs. So even over the course of the time that they were there, they were evolving new traits to survive in their environment, adapt to some of the different changes that we have there. And so remember that not all the dinosaurs actually went extinct. The big ones that we think of, when you picture a dinosaur in your head, a lot of those guys are gone. But like the raptors, the Deinonychus, like my friend Poe that you're going to get a chance to meet, I'm going to bring a live dinosaur to the Science Center this weekend so you can meet my friend Poe. She was at the beer fest.
Yes,
She was at the beer fest.
It's the dinosaur with feathers on it.
Covered in feathers.
It's one of the cooler things that I think you've ever done for us and our listeners is bring out some of your contraptions, and this thing is awesome, dude.
Poe is going to be so cool. You definitely want to come and get a chance
You get a
to meet
photo?
her.
You get a photo
Of course
with
we
her?
could take photos with her.
That'd
Absolutely.
be cool. That'd be cool.
You
But she's covered in feathers because the modern day dinosaur descendants had learned how to, they grew feathers to be faster to catch their prey. And then some of their prey was like, well, I'm going to be faster too. And then I'm going to learn to climb trees. Now I'm going to learn how to jump. So I'm going to jump after you, but I'm not going to come down. And now we have flying birds.
Whoa. All right. That was a very simple way of explaining
Right?
it. But yeah, that makes
Adapting to the environment.
Dig
It's
it, yeah.
circumstances.
Jimmy, you think like I have a hard time, and I think every human being does when you're.
Yeah, he's got some stomach problems.
no.
Oh, I'm really sorry.
That's an overshare.
Yeah, it was.
When you're looking at time in millions of years, because you can't comprehend it, right? So that's why I think a lot of people don't believe in dinosaurs or think that like, oh, there are 3,000 years. They don't understand what a million years or even 100,000 years even is, and people have the
God,
misconception.
I can't even do a decade.
No, yeah. People have the misconception that all the dinosaurs died after the meteor, and then it's like no, not all of them, and the rest of them just evolved into like you said, birds and stuff.
Well,
So
the chat room is saying, I'm convinced sandhill cranes are dinosaurs. Have you
Yes, they
ever
are.
heard them?
No, that is a fact. Sandhill cranes are in fact dinosaurs. Yes, they are.
There you go.
Boom.
Proven. So you can go to your husband and tell him, hey, that's a dinosaur. And he'll say no. And then you can look it up and
I'll give
then
you-
make him do something for you.
And I'm going to back that up for you here too.
Oh,
because
he's got
in
props.
addition, Dan, always I brought
Man, you
I brought
always
3
have
shopping
a
bags with the
bag
stuff.
of fun stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay.
So I brought here with me, this is a foot of a modern day dinosaur. So this is actually a cast of a living creature that has 3 sharp clawed toes and 1 really nasty looking sickle foot right here at the end. Look at this
That's a
thing.
knife toe, dude.
Yep, I'm telling
That
you.
looks like Soul Brother Kevin's feet. That's an old school joke. That's an old school joke.
Compare that. This is the foot of a velociraptor.
Can I hold that?
Yeah, of course. I'm going to pass these around. So that's the velociraptor foot, and that's the same thing. It's got those 3 sharp claws, including the 1 big nasty
The
claw on the inner
killing
toe.
claw,
The
man.
killing claw. And so the killing claw on this creature.
Look at that thing.
Yeah. So you got the raptor on Dan's camera, and you got the cassowary here on my picture. So this is the foot of a cassowary.
What
if
is
you guys,
that?
The cassowary is picture like an emu, but extra mad. So
Okay,
like
a
this
mad
is
emu?
So a cassowary
Yes.
is a creature. Here you go. Check this out. So cassowary is a creature that is it's a bird. It's covered in black feathers that are kind of like bristly. It has a long neck with like a red wattle on the side, like a turkey. But it's got a blue face. It's got a big crest on top of its head, and it's one of the only dinosaurs, only birds, with a confirmed human kill count. They have actually killed humans in the past. So when people say,
You
"What's the
knew I
scariest
wanted
dinosaur?"
to go gory today. You knew I did.
No, we always bring
This thing's got a body count. I love
It's got
it.
a body count. It's the deadliest dinosaur out there. It's the only dinosaur that's actually killed humans. So
Oh, and then they got you with that claw,
Yeah.
and then it got your belly,
Yeah,
which is the worst.
and then you just spilled out onto the ground. Yeah.
the point is, you're alive when they
You
start
know,
to peck at you.
I have seen some men that like to drink mead and wear bracers or bikers that have claws like that. They'll wear like a ring,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
a
yeah,
killing
yeah.
ring on there. You know, who would have known that dinosaurs like were able to, like
But those things are still alive now. Like those,
Where
you
can
can
I-
see those in zoos. There's, I know the Central Florida Zoo, I believe, has a couple. I know the St. Augustine Gator Farm up there has some. I believe there's one at Gatorland too. But I mean, there's a couple places where you can see these things, and they are absolutely beautiful creatures.
That's dope.
As long as you're on the right side of the fence.
right. So like if you made them mad and then they got at you, that's just not a good day.
Now you don't have to outrun the cassowary. You just can be faster than the people that you're with.
I love
And
that.
you know what's interesting is based on the fossil, their feet haven't evolved that much. It looks exactly the
Yeah.
same.
I mean, you
Yeah.
could have told me that
Yeah.
it was a prop from Jurassic Park, and I would be like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, sure.
100%.
and so it's like
How strong would they be? Like, as strong as, like, how tall are we talking again?
So a cassowary can be about between 5 and 7 feet tall.
So bigger than me. Like one of these things that kick my ass.
But the dinosaur version was way bigger or around the same size.
Yeah, that's a great
Velociraptor,
question.
for example. I mean, in Jurassic Park, they talk about it being 6-foot turkeys. But I'm going to have a cast of one of these. You can see this, and you'll actually see the skull of Velociraptor. You can see them at the Paleontology party at the Science Center this weekend, and you'll see that raptors are actually turkey-sized turkeys. And my buddy Steve is going to be there as well from Paleoanalysis. He's bringing a Utahraptor skull, which is bigger than the ones from Jurassic Park. So this is a creature that would absolutely it's a raptor skull that's about as big as my Tyrannosaur skull here too. So like it's a wild creature.
So they were all different. They had different regional sizes.
They filled in so many different ecological roles that they were all different sizes because that's what their environment
Sounds
called
a lot
for.
like humans, right?
Exactly.
Like we're all different sizes, but we're all very much the same and similar. Oh
That's
wow,
right.
this is wild.
Jimmy,
If you gore me, do I not bleed?
Man, every time you come in here, I learn something new. The chat room is already talking about it.
I love
Dinos
it.
and Lights, guys. Again, this is what we're here to
Yeah.
to promote. You want
and
to
the
get
paleontology party this weekend.
I'm going to make a bold statement.
Yeah.
If you look at any of our clients, especially the ones like the Science Center, we have the greatest family things for you to do of any show in like in Florida
Yeah.
at least. Nobody
Yeah.
beats us. We have the greatest places for you to take your family.
So,
Absolutely.
Jimmy, I'm curious of your opinion on movies because they're good and they're bad, and I'll explain.
Think of The
because
Shape of Water.
well, no.
Think of that.
It's a
It
long
was gross.
question.
I thought
I think that is the most wonderful rom-com retelling of the creature from the Black Lagoon in modern cinema.
Exactly. Everything is stolen.
I'm going to reference another scientist,
Bring it.
or maybe Neil.
Oh, the guy from Sonic, Jim Carrey.
I saw.
Eggman. Oh, he's going to mention Eggman again.
I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about ever since Dark Side of the Moon came out, the album and the
Yeah.
song, that he's been explaining that there is no dark side of the moon. The moon actually rotates. It's one day on the moon is 30 days long here.
Disrespectful to Pink Floyd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, leave him alone.
And
Don't get me started on prisms.
okay. So, but what's funny about that is because we've heard it became so popular, Dark Side of the Moon. The entire world just thinks, oh yeah, the moon doesn't rotate. It's just there's one dark side of it.
It's one of the first accurate pieces of misinformation that we can trace, right?
And then because of Jurassic Park, which we all saw as well,
Yep.
we think raptors were bigger than they are.
Yeah.
Although Jurassic Park made people fall in love with dinosaurs, but there's misinformation in it.
Well,
so-
that's why I always confirm with you. I don't know if you've noticed this, but every time you've been in here, I think I ask you what size a raptor was just to reinforce it to myself and to the public.
And you know what? I will tell you every single time because that is what it means to be a science communicator. You are here to tell people. I will answer that question over and over again. I love it. Not all dinosaurs were gigantic. Not all dinosaurs were huge. And to prove it, I brought a whole dinosaur with me today.
Yes. Oh my God, he brought the Daniel dinosaur.
So this right here, filling in the entire screen, this is a lovely creature called Psittacosaurus. Psittacosaurus starts with a P.
Why they do that, Jimmy?
Oh, Tom hates that. Oh, he's already out. He's already out.
I got you. Just throw
Starts
this up.
with a P.
He hates silent
Dude,
letters.
bro.
Oh
This
my
This is the
God.
What's
Psittacosaurus.
the point of them? They're
Yeah.
just confusing the
Well,
dodos.
first of all, that's a super gorgeous specimen.
Thank
but
you.
I can't help but look at its face and think parrot.
That's why that's why it has that name. The parrot-faced lizard.
Look at
And the
that. I'm a
scientific name of
paleontologist.
parrots is like Psittaco, that sort of thing. So that Psitt is like it's when we talk about parrot-like things. So this creature has a parrot-like face, and so this is the parrot dino.
Oh, that thing would snap your hand off. It looks like your birds scare me some, or not yours, but your bird adjacent. And those things are
They are like dinosaurs.
They go though, right? Like they can bite you.
So were these dinosaurs like hunting packs? Like we say again,
Oh, a
misinformation
pack of these
Jurassic
against
Park.
me. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
So they're herbivores, first off, which is really good to know.
Oh, thank God.
They lived in groups. They lived in family groups. We have actually found. They went so crazy. We've actually found specimens of 34 babies, like fresh hatchling babies, with one 6-year-old adult that wasn't their parent. So we've had evidence that
guy's
these
a
guys were.
pedophile.
That's a babysitter.
We're gonna say babysitters.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Jeff, see, we're always
Inside
on the
you are two
we're always
wolves.
It's always the yin and yang here.
Daniel, inside of you are
That's
two
why
wolves.
we're here.
I may be a bit negative, Jeff.
No, it's
I will
all right.
So
admit.
that's
We
that's
balance each other.
We do.
That's interesting because a lot of other animals don't do that. Take care of young that are not theirs, right?
A lot of dinosaurs did.
I
Lots
wouldn't
of
do
different
it.
dinosaurs actually had familiar groups. They did group nesting, where multiple nests in one space for these things to all kind of hatch together and keep out.
That's kind
Socialist.
of like bird behavior too, because like
Yes.
penguins do that.
Yes,
or
they
like
do.
the male
Oh, yeah.
penguin will take care of the eggs, which
Yeah.
is weird in the animal world, right?
Now, I know you guys are going to love this dinosaur, not only because it's so cool and you can see the entire thing here.
It's crazy that you have a full dinosaur, dude. I've never
Isn't that
seen
wild?
a complete. You know,
It's all right here.
That's wild.
And we also know what they look like, what color they were, what their skin texture was like. We know color. We know the color of the dinosaur. This is
How
actually
do
what
we
a
know?
living Psittacosaurus looked like because we found one completely mummified
What?
with some of the stomach
Look
contents,
at
with
this
some
guy.
of the guts involved. And we also found out what its butt looks like.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because I was on the scene. Dr. Dan, paleontologist.
So this-
I'm on the scene for the first 5 seconds. What do we got here? We got a dinosaur. What's his butt look like? Give me the numbers.
So the Psittacosaurus that we discovered, one that's completely mummified. We found the skin impressions. We were able to use lasers to figure out the texture and the color patterns of the skin. And we also found out that it has a single opening called a cloaca.
Like a bird.
Oh, that's a
like
chicken
birds.
ass.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well,
And-
you know, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, Jeff. But yeah, it's a chicken butt.
But they have this one opening for all the things that they would need to do. And so when they grow up, their reproductive organs are in there, their excretory stuff. So the way they go to the bathroom, the way they make babies, the
we've
way they lay
argued
eggs.
on this show before that it's a better way because it's convenient.
Yeah.
Everything one-stop shop.
Yeah, and it seems
With a pee, poop, and egg drop.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how birds were like evolved is because they're so old that like they're more efficient now even than other species maybe because they've been around so long. But I guess
Yeah.
there's other species that have been around just as long, like crocodiles and alligators and stuff were around as well, and they just didn't change as much.
That's right, yeah. So gators and crocodilians and creatures like that, like the Gavialsuchus, which is a huge 20-foot alligator ancestor that you'll see at the Science Center. Aiden from Florida Fossilized
God,
is
you guys
bringing
have
the
so
entire
much stuff
skeleton.
out there, man. This is
Oh,
going to be
it's gonna-
awesome.
it's
It's
gonna be huge. It's
This
gonna
is
be
the
an
best
awesome
weekend for
weekend.
anyone who's ever had a favorite dinosaur. This is the time you want to come to the Science Center, along with every other day.
Well,
but this is gonna be a good time to see
We
it.
certainly appreciate you guys trying to add more and more to it every single time.
Of
I mean,
course.
it gets bigger and better every year.
What was that other fossil that you had, Jimmy, when that you were going to show us?
Yeah, but real quick, Tom, guess what?
What?
Taco butt.
No,
Yeah, I like that. Get him with a dinosaur dad joke right to his face. He deserves that. Take that. You're laughing. You're smiling. You're smiling.
No, this is why we do this, because dinosaurs will always be awesome.
Yeah, they're
All right,
super
so
fun.
this is an actual fossil that I dug up in Wyoming, and we want to talk about the length of time that it takes for a dinosaur to become a skeleton, and then for that skeleton to become rock and fossil. We can see evidence of that right here. So this is super heavy, but this is part of the limb bone. So this is part of the femur of a long-necked dinosaur. Now, what I really like about this, when we find these things, you can see that the color of this, for those of you who can't see it, the color of this bone is like a deep brownish black, right? But it's also got this orange stuff all throughout it. The sand and the dirt where we found this is much brighter tan color. So we can see that the color of the specimen and the minerals itself, it is heavy, right?
Yeah. This thing is like extremely dense.
Yeah. It's super dense, yeah. So it's the color of the fossil picks up the minerals around it, but it's different from the color of most of the minerals around it. So a lot of that dirt still stays that one color. But where does that orange stuff come from? None of the minerals around were orange.
It's really heavy, right?
Yeah.
It's like a big rock.
I mean,
It
but,
is-
but for what it is, size-wise, it's heavier than you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the orange is on the inside. So when you think about what the purpose of a bone of this size is, that's all the bone marrow. And the purpose of your bone marrow is to produce blood
Sure.
cells for the rest of the body.
Extremely important. Yeah.
So, and what is our blood made of? We got this red stuff. Our blood is red because we have hemoglobin in it, which has a lot of iron in the blood. So what's the orange stuff?
It's iron.
That's rusty iron. That's rusty dinosaur blood inside of that fossil right there. So
Wow.
all the
Yo.
blood has turned into the mineralized mineralized iron and that rusty iron oxide that there with it. Isn't that cool?
That's extremely cool.
It makes it so much cooler once you know what it is.
Yes.
Because I would kick this rock and it'd never look at
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely. I would definitely, in my younger years, I would have thrown that at a gas station window or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like once you realize, you're like, oh my God, this is dinosaur blood
Well,
in
that's
this
like
rock?
It's rusty dino blood.
That's
what it is.
insane.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah,
but
that
it
is
takes
wild.
so long for the individual pieces to get replaced one cell
old
at a
is
time.
that?
This is from the Jurassic period, so that's 156 million years old.
That's what I needed
just
to hear.
casually,
That's
just
the
roll it.
punchline. When you hear that, it's like, what?
Yeah, give or take a Thursday.
Again, a number we cannot comprehend.
No, I got nothing.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
our calendar is in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's weird to touch that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a very weird. So again, guys, if you're thinking of something to do with your family for the holidays, this is what you want to line up.
Jimmy,
Absolutely.
I saw a story. I wanted to ask you about it as soon as I saw it, and it was about the most expensive fossil
Yes.
ever sold.
Yes.
And it just broke the record.
Breaking
and
news.
It was a Stegosaurus named Apex,
Mm-hmm.
and it sold for $45 million at the what's that super popular
the Sotheby's.
Sotheby's auction.
Quick, just side note: the
Applebee's.
chat room is asking you to change your name to. They want you to change your name to Rusty Dino Blood.
Rusty dino
Yeah,
blood.
I think that would be a good action adventure hero name to Rusty Dino Blood. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
I'm gonna start wearing fedoras after that. I don't know.
It's like
We'll
an
come
Indiana
back.
Jones vibe. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think you sing all your own country music.
I like that. Yeah.
So
Back to Apex.
And so it was or like I guess the most complete Stegosaurus fossil that they have. It's amazing, by the way, if you look at the pictures of it. And a billionaire hedge fund guy bought it, and now has donated it to the Museum of Natural History for people to see. And when I saw that, I'm like, is his motivation basically charitable in the fact that he's like, I'm going to buy this for the United States Museum, and that's my contribution to society?
So it like
What-
stays here.
What are these guys'
or-
motivation?
Yeah,
Jamie,
have you
when they
met
buy
these people or like interacted with any of these people that purchase huge fossils?
I've traveled in certain circles with them. You know,
Yeah.
in paleontology, you've got a couple of different groups of people, and some folks who are very much in the Indiana Jones vibe of it belongs in a museum, and then other folks who are like, this is a precious thing, and I can find money out of this. You know, I'm kind of more in the museum side of things, but I appreciate that there's got to be a balance, and so you've got some folks who, if they can find gold in them thar hills, and that drives people to go out and want to pursue things, because a lot of amateur paleontologists are where we find some of our newest and most exciting discoveries. Now, Apex here, the billionaire who won the auction is a guy named Griffin. He actually lives in Florida.
Oh, really?
And so Apex is on loan to the Museum of Natural to AMNH in New York for about 4 years. And after that, we don't know where it's going to go next. So from the paleontology side, we're very excited it gets to be in a museum, but we're not sure how much we can study off of it. This is a very complete Stegosaurus. It has more Stegosaurus parts and pieces than any other specimen we've found so far. We have so much we can learn.
Yeah.
But if we can't study it for a long term to make those comparisons, we can't be sure. And there's a couple of rules that we have to follow in scientific studies where I have to be able to go back in 10 years, 15 years, and check your work to make sure that your stuff still holds up. So if Apex is
Like
on
a review
display-
of some sort.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I have to
yeah.
always be able to go back, dust off the old thing, and make sure that your science still holds up today. And that's how science continually reviews itself.
My mom never did that.
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
She believed one science and
Yeah,
died with
that's
the same science in her brain.
I like a one and done type science. Whatever you discovered hundreds of years ago, I still believe.
There
it.
are, I mean, dare I say, millions of Spanish grandmas that think Vicks will cure everything in the world, and it's just not science. It's not.
All the dinosaurs were
Chiropractors,
green
I'm
and they
looking
lived
at
in the
you,
water.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Stegosaurus, let's talk about that. That's an herbivore.
Yes.
And it kind of similar to a tortoise in the fact that the spikes were for a defense mechanism against other predators, right? Or
So
something?
we're still not 1,000% sure what the plates are there for. What we do know is that the plates are covered in a bit of keratin, the same as like our fingernails and hair. I know this because I actually was working in a prep lab in Wyoming a few years back, and we had a section of a Stegosaurus where the plate had folded over and kind of trapped things underneath. When we popped the plate off, we saw the skin impressions and we saw the preserved keratin on the inside. We're like, okay, Stegosaurus plates were in fact covered in this keratin material. They weren't covered in flesh. They may have been able to flush with blood and light up. And like in Walking with Dinosaurs, they had the plates were able to change colors and get really bright red to help scare up a predator. Still a possibility. We don't know for sure yet. But having a specimen like Apex would allow us to explore some of those things and discover things more closely related. The problem is that if we have a 4-year shelf life on that research, and if after the 4 years comes, Apex decides to go back to this guy's mansion in Clearwater, then none of that research counts anymore because I can't check it.
We got to steal it.
We can't verify.
We got to steal it. I can get you a crew.
Get Nicolas Cage on the phone right
we
now.
Can do
He's a huge dinosaur fan. He'll do it for free.
We can do something I like to call Big Fat Ocean's 11. And it's me and a ragtag team, or it's very much like what's that movie, The Uncrustables? No, the movie with
Expendables?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
The Uncrustables.
The animated version was The Uncrustables.
Ocean
Good at
65
lunchtime.
million.
It's like Daniel presents The Uncrustables.
So what's weird about this is it seems like these fossils shouldn't be private. It seems like they should be.
It does feel a little gross and weird, right?
Like the world's information.
Yeah, I'm playing
for
the Indiana
humanity.
Jones game, the new Indiana Jones game.
Yes.
And the first thing you do in the Indiana Jones game is
Not teach a class.
A religious man that's like 9 foot tall, a Catholic man from another world, breaks in your museum and he stole my GD cat mummy that I got in Marrakesh. I got him in Marrakesh. So now I got to get all my stuff and pack up my suitcase and my whip and go track down my cat mummy.
So if this
Give
person,
it a shot's a good game.
if this person moves the fossil to his, like you said, living room in Clearwater, then no one can study it anymore. Or they'd be like, you can come to my house, but don't make a mess of it. And now you're not in a, no scientific setting, and it becomes way harder to get information.
So part of the rules are that if I want to be able to continue the study, I have to be able to go and see it in a museum anytime I want to without needing to make an appointment. So if it's in someone's private house, I can't just walk in and be like, hi, I'm coming, I'm visiting from the University of Bonn, and I got to check out your stego. And it's like, we're having dinner right now? So now's not a good time.
Never thought about that, man.
Yeah.
So of course, the Tyrannosaurus Rex fossil stand was the
previous big one.
The previous biggest one at 31 million.
That's my boy right here.
And we all know what
right
a Tyrannosaurus Rex is. But I'm curious. Then the next one down is a fossil named Hector. And it's Dino
Deinonychus.
Dino Deinonychus. I think my mom and dad saw him in Vegas.
Between
the hours of 12 and 6.
My uncle was a trumpet player in Vegas. One of my great uncles. And he played first trumpet for Dino Deinonychus.
I wasn't born to be a paleontologist because I can't pronounce the dinosaur's name.
Just call him the big one.
So what kind of dinosaur was that?
That's the same kind of dinosaur that Poe is.
Oh, okay.
Poe is a Deinonychus. So you can actually see what this dinosaur looked like this weekend at the Science Center. We'll have her there in our space. You can check her out with Paleontology Party and everything else going on. But yeah, Hector the Deinonychus was a very complete specimen of this very important dinosaur. Now, that one sucked to see that go. But it's not the end of the world because we've also got dozens and dozens of other Deinonychus specimens that are very beautifully cataloged. The originals are still in Yale. We had most of the dinosaur when we first found that one too. So this one it's not as bad because we can still research on other things. Now, if there's anything unique about Hector that we can't find in it anymore, that's not going to help us in the long run. But from what I read and what I understand about it, it was a very cool looking Deinonychus, but not really too much special to write home about beyond the fact that there was just more of it.
And the fact that it was covered in feathers is odd for society to see, I think, because they just don't relate dinosaurs being covered in feathers.
Right.
They're bird
We want the
descendants.
stereotype.
But the beautiful thing about Jurassic Park is that it showed us dinosaurs as being these agile living animals functioning in the way that we would expect animals to do and not big movie monsters. The downside is for the last 30 years, we've been saying, no, it couldn't spit at you. No, it actually had feathers. No, it could see if you didn't move. And so,
Which leads me to like a really big question for you, us as your friends and people that admire you and love it when you come in here.
You guys.
Where are you at with like your relationship with Jurassic Park? Like, are you okay with it, or are you just like it'd be better if we
it's
didn't
still my
have...
second favorite movie of all time.
So you're in. You're still
yeah,
in.
100%.
Even though the misinformation and the way that they've changed it and added different things, but you're
First
people
favorite
say-
Barbie movie. It's odd.
I went all in on Barbenheimer. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
No, so people ask me like if Jurassic Park were real, would I go and visit it? And like, would I pay money to go to this island? It's like, no, I don't think you have to pay when you work there. Like
Right.
if Jurassic Park were real, I would be on that island. Like I'd be
believe
doing
that.
tours. I'd be doing the same thing I'm doing here now,
Yeah.
and be like, this is
No matter what, you'd have
no,
to.
I mean all in, man. Absolutely. That would be the childhood dream. And I'm as someone who's checked off a bunch of childhood dreams,
Yeah.
let me tell you,
You're like surrounded by dinos.
I'm
man.
covered in dinos.
You'd have
all
a
the time
pen
anyway.
holder, Barbasol can, everything.
You'd have to have it all.
Everything.
Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
It all.
And the next one up on the list I had was Big John the Triceratops.
Yes.
Now,
Was-
that
went
sounds
for-
like it should be in the South, right?
Went for $7 million.
He's
With
over in
rusty
Tampa.
Dino blood.
Is he?
Yes.
Is it Tampa?
Yeah, Big John is on display at the Glazer Museum in Tampa.
Okay.
So
That's not that far.
the Triceratops, I think people, it reminds them of a rhinoceros kind of because of the horns.
100%.
But did it have the same reason that like a rhinoceros has the same type of?
He's got everything we ask in the bag. It's crazy.
So was it for like fighting another Triceratops male or something?
So we see that and there's a couple of really great ways you can see how these animals lived. All of paleontology is looking at what I find and trying to figure out what I'm looking at and how does it work and what would it do and how these animals live with each other.
I've always liked their mouths. I always thought they had
Right?
weird. It was like they've got the three. I don't even want to call them horns.
No, they're horns, yeah.
Okay, so 3 horns, but they still have. And what's so terrifying about this guy is the bird mouth.
Yeah, that big
Look
bird
at,
beak.
Look at the bird beak. Like,
okay.
I don't know why that's so scary to me. I think it's because it's 2 curved swords coming
Yeah.
together like a pair of some sort of shears that are meant to like really do some damage, man.
This guy, like Triceratops, people sleep on Triceratops, and I'm going to tell you why. Because their beak was like extremely sharp hedge clippers, and their teeth look like Phillips head screwdriver bits,
That sounds horrible.
right? Because their main food item were cycads, which was like if you have sago palms in your yard, like those really big palm trees and things, like
Yeah.
they're so tough, and every time you try to clean them up, they stab you 16 times.
Yeah.
That was like, give me more of that. That was their casual Thursday lunch. Like that's the kind of stuff that they ate all the time.
He's a mega goat.
So he's tough as hell.
They had to be tough. Their jaws were strong to crunch through this stuff and devour them. You can see there's actually several Triceratops skulls on display at the Science Center. And when you come by this weekend, take a look at those teeth because they are wild looking.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy, I got a
Phillips
question.
head screwdriver teeth.
So when we
Like the Steven Seagal movie.
when we see
Remember that guy? I think
Yeah.
his name was Screwface.
when we see horns on animals,
Yeah.
I think we immediately relate them to like a deer or an elk
Mm-hmm.
or a rhinoceros or whatever, and we think of that. Oh, these are horns to fight other male of that species,
Yeah.
so they can
the
mate
most
with them.
dominant,
Yeah, be
yeah.
the most dominant, mate with the female. And so because we're thinking of mammals, but then I'm looking at this dinosaur and I see the horns on Triceratops, and I'm like, I go to that, but I'm like, wait
Yeah,
a minute,
buddy.
this is a bird. So, and I've never seen birds grow horns to fight off other male species. You know what I'm
There's
saying?
gotta
That's not
be
how
a bird
birds
with a
act.
horn. There's got to be a
So,
horn to birds.
what's it for?
So Psittacosaurus that we showed you here
Yeah.
is actually a relative of Triceratops. So these guys are in the same family tree.
And they
Okay.
kind of looked like it based on their
The beak and
the
things
beak,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Here,
they're
look at 'em
close relatives.
Compare their faces; are almost identical. It's just
Yeah.
one has like this. What do you call the piece behind his
That
head?
we call that the frill.
Yeah, so
the
he's got
protective
the-
frill around the outside, and then Psittacosaurus has these little pointy pieces coming off the side. So we call those the jugals, so like they're extensions of the jaw bones.
Yeah.
And so you can see a
Our
lot
buddy
of those similarities.
EJ's got some huge jugals, ginormous.
And so the structures that animals have in the wild are not there for no reason whatsoever. They're either for feeding or for fighting or for looking good. So like whatever the reasons that they have, those are essential for these animals. Now, in every Triceratops that we found, we know that the horns start off really small, the frill starts off really small, and as the animal grows, they change their shape. So they curve back, and then they start to curve forward as they get older. Their frill gets really wide, and then it gets really thin as they get older. So a lot of it is like, is this something that they do for making sure that there's a really strong competitive male, or do they get really long horns because they're like lions and a pride of things? It's those are the kind of things that we want to keep learning about.
And then it
we-
pulls back as they age, meaning that maybe there wouldn't be a use for it as much anymore. Or
Maybe they need to be really, really strong during their most sexually mature phase.
Sure,
When
yeah.
they're needing to compete for
Correct.
rivals and things like that. And then, is the old lone gunman's like, I don't do this anymore. And he's up there just
I'm
hacking
out of
wood.
the game. I'm out of the game.
Or some birds just, and we have seen this on like Planet Earth and documentaries and stuff, but they have elaborate, like a peacock, like a huge thing just to attract
Plumage,
mates.
yeah.
And then it's not for any other reason, no fighting or anything. It's just like, hey, I'm going to put on display.
It's my decoration.
So,
100%.
So there could be a possibility that Triceratops had this all for just
for
ornamental
looking good.
reasons. You're right.
Absolutely. And so other relatives of Triceratops, like one of my favorite dinosaurs is a creature called Cosmoceratops. Its horns curve off to the sides. It doesn't have the little nose horn, and it's got 19 horns around its head that all curve down. But it's really gorgeous looking. Like, this is an animal that is like brushing its hair every morning. It's got the big old pompadour because it's trying to look good. This is definitely a decorative, attractive feature
That's cool.
that's trying to. And so you can see this in dozens and dozens of other kind of dinosaurs. Even there's a new one that we found last year called Lokiceratops. Very similar thing. The horns curve backwards, and it's got all these big horns around the outside of the frill because it's made to look good. These are not going to do a head-to-head lock and horns kind of thing.
It's not
These
like a
are-
ram.
Yeah, they're going to do more of like a Zoolander pose off.
That's it.
Yeah.
We got Magnum versus Blue Steel.
And last, before you leave, Jimmy, we've got the.
You kicking me out already? Oh my gosh.
No, we would literally just keep talking to you all day, but then
I know,
Jeff
yeah.
would be like, hey, guys,
it's all
I
right.
have to do business
I
here.
have work and a whole entire science center to, help.
So what I found interesting is the last fossil on this list of like top 5 most expensive fossils doesn't have a nickname, which I thought would be from the previous ones that they all had some sort
Like
of nickname.
Big John or Big Jim or
Gorgosaurus, right? And there's no nickname here, but that sold for $6 million in 2022.
Yeah.
And you've got a Gorgosaurus head with you.
So what I brought with me here is an Albertosaurus.
Oh.
Now, Albertosaurus and Gorgosaurus are kind of like they're cousins with each other. So they're similar size, similar shape, and they lived in a similar area.
that guy looks like a dog.
He does a little bit, doesn't he?
He has like a dog head.
Yeah, he's got a really good sniffer on there. He's got a really great sense of smell. So yeah, you're not far off. And those eyes up here at the top are very forward facing. So they use this to kind of track down their prey.
He's got
They
a
have
good
these little
look.
horns. Actually, it's a relative of T-Rex, but he's got little horns on top of his head here, little horn bosses.
That's dope.
Now, this looks like kind of the size they represented the raptor to be in Jurassic Park, kind of. Like, why didn't they use this instead of a raptor?
Because you got me on that one. I don't know. There's so many cool dinosaurs they could have used them. And
That's
I'm
his
happy
greatest
with
fear.
the Velociraptor. Yeah.
We talked about it this morning. His greatest fear is to ask a guest on the show. I'm going to sell you out. To ask a guest on the show a question and then have them go, I don't know how to answer that. Did you say, yeah, it's his greatest fear.
When Michael Crichton was writing the book Jurassic Park, he was actually working with a scientist who found the Deinonychus. We were talking about Hector a minute ago. The scientist who found and named that original dinosaur, he's like, hey, can I look at all your creatures? Because this is the most agile, fastest dinosaur we've ever found. That was the one that told us that dinosaurs could be agile, active creatures. So like, hey, how do they? How fast are they? How high do they jump? How do they feel about industrial kitchens? All those kind of things. And that's how he created the original villain dinosaur of Jurassic Park was Deinonychus. When they were getting ready to make the movie, they said, hey, we think kids are going to have trouble saying Deinonychus or whatever it is. So we're going to go with Velociraptor because that also sounds scarier. So they turned this awesome, incredible creature into a turkey-sized turkey. And for 30 years, we've been saying, it is, but it's actually this.
So just the name.
Wow.
There's the marketing. It was just some marketing
I did
thing.
not know that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, because
Wow.
that dinosaur looks scary as hell.
Albertosaurus.
That
This
thing-
guy's full name
just
is-
look at his side profile of his teeth that,
thing
hang
will-
out.
Yeah, man.
And how tall was that dinosaur?
This guy would be about 11 feet tall.
Jesus.
And so this one, its full name is Albertosaurus sarcophagus. It means Alberta's meat-eating lizard, because this was found the same year that Alberta, Canada, was named as a province. And so the guy's like, oh yeah, we're gonna name this after our new province here.
Sarcophagus.
Yeah.
That thing
Big old
would
meat eater.
kill you good.
Oh, man, it'll
yeah.
chomp you.
6 times before you hit the ground.
Oh, yeah, man.
Now, again, the Orlando Science Center.
Let's tell everybody how they can be a part of this.
Yeah.
The paleontology party this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and of course, Dinos and Lights going on all December up until January 6th. And it's a perfect holiday weekend to visit the Science Center. Just become a member. That's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Like, just go and just buy the year membership.
Yeah, because I get
and then
tired
you
of
can go
telling
whenever
people,
you want.
Yeah, if you're a member of all these great things, then when Jeff rolls out something new, there's less thinking involved. You don't have to rush to the internet or anything. You are already a member. More than likely, they're going to throw something in your email box to let you know as members ahead of time.
You're going to get the scoop.
Yeah,
yes.
I always get the scoop. I know even before we have a meeting with Tracy or Jeff, like I get the stuff up because we're there.
Just take your kids to the science center. Stop taking them some trampoline park with balls and everything. They're not learning anything. Like they'll have just
Way
as
more
much
fun.
or more fun
Way
at
more
the science
fun.
center, and they have other, like that. I've taken my sons since they could walk to the the area where the
We're lifers.
It's the green, like it's not an obstacle course, but
the
it's
climber in Kidstown.
the climber and that thing. My son's
You ever been up to the top?
An hour in there, climb. Yeah, they've been.
It's
I've
fun.
climbed
No,
in
I have
there.
climbed out there.
That's Climb Time presented by the Isaacs family. That is an awesome time in Kidstown. My kid used to take me in there because the grown-ups can get in there
Yeah,
too.
you can get in
Parents
there.
get in there with their
It's
kids.
huge.
My kid would take me up to the top and then ditch me.
Yeah.
And leave me.
And it
leave
can be
me
a
up
little
there.
difficult if you have, let's say, bad hips to get
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And Maisie's like, peace, dude. So, yeah, there you go.
Well, Dino Jimmy,
Dude,
Jeff,
we love you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff, we
Thank
love you.
you guys
Happy
so much.
holidays.
Happy
y'all.
holidays
as
to
well.
you guys too.
Yeah.
We
We'll
are-
see you at the Science Center.
Yeah, absolutely. We have so much fun with you guys, and thanks for being a part of our show. We
Thank
appreciate
you for
it.
having us.
Always a pleasure. See you next time.
OSC.org.
Boom, we did it.
Perfect.
Yay!
Man,
Good
that
job,
is
y'all.
cool as always.
That's awesome.
Or is that it
Yep.
for, okay.
That's it for this, and that is going to be Thursday. 1
And we're just
2.
going to keep going, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I'll leave us on.
And then we're going to go right to Vince
In
in
like 20?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we just might have to do longer breaks, which is fine.
It's fine.
So all the stuff I actually brought that didn't even get a chance to show you
Oh,
yet.
God,
So we
that's
took a look at the. No, it's fine. I'd always
That's it.
rather
Well,
bring
yeah,
more.
because we're going to have you in, soon
I appreciate
again.
you.
Yeah. And then so
I brought real Psittacosaurus bones as well.
What?
Like actual vertebrae from this thing, so you can see. Like, and I told you that this is the actual life size of it. So actual bones right there. You can pop that open. It just slides right out.
Don't
and
tell him to
there's
do
three
that.
vertebrae
You're
in
going to
there.
flush it down the toilet accidentally or something.
That is amazing.
Yeah, man, you brought in some killers today. I think the dinosaur blood really takes the cake, though, when you realize what it is.
Yeah.
Because you build up the story to the point where we're like, yes, I'm following along the science.
That's one of my favorite things. I was gonna bring Poe with me here today, but I think she's too big for everything. So
Yeah, how's she holding up after?
Oh,
like,
she's
is
a fighter.
Yeah.
I actually got a new cart for her to roll around on this
Nice.
week, and did some work on like her brain box. Finally connected her to a decent audio system, and she's actually had a voice this entire time. So I can plug her in, and she actually makes like these deep bird chirps and things like that.
Oh,
so,
really?
So
Dude.
she'll be yapping at the Science Center for sure.
That's awesome. Where's this go, T?
That's Thursday 1 and 2.
Gotcha.
It's a whole Thursday show.
Awesome. That's gonna be a good Thursday.
But yeah, I got to keep bringing. I got to keep bringing my A game and updating it every single time here
Well, we love it, man. Thank you again for doing it.
The fact that this fossil is between 140 and 100 million years old is insane.
Isn't that great?
Which also, like the fact that it could be a 40 million year discrepancy.
Yeah.
Also, it's like for a million years, you can't even comprehend. It's crazy.
But they were alive for that long
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
But think about how long humans have been here
Yeah.
and everything we've accomplished. Meanwhile, these guys were all just like animals out there, doing their thing and just living their best life, not paying taxes or dealing
Yeah,
with,
yeah, yeah.
no one had to find an email. So
That's what's
True.
We could have. I mean, we could have do shows about like why did primates evolve into being smart, and like why did we get so smart so quick in such
Yeah.
a small amount of time?
You're getting
trying not to be eaten.
getting some plugs for Jimmy's podcast
Oh, yeah.
on Spotify in the chat room.
Oh, that's wonderful.
People love you guys.
People keep talking about how good the podcast is. I'm gonna have to make another episode now.
Yeah, it's you gotta consistency is key.
That's it. I gotta get the microphone.
As little podcast Danny, you gotta stick with it, man. Well, thank you guys again.
Thank you guys.
Love
We
you, buddy.
appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, and then we'll have some social of this.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Melissa will take clips from the show and then
Okay.
we'll use it to promote
Wonderful.
this weekend. We'll put that out. And
Great. No, thanks for the help.
Always, man. We love doing it.
well, people like the content, and so it makes it easy when then people are excited that Jimmy's coming in. And,
Well, and
so
you guys.
Norm, that's a good
we
idea.
don't get a chance to really talk, in any other kind of media opportunities. So it's
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
to be
yeah,
able
yeah.
to just explore it.
Yeah, I mean, Tom and I realized that a long time ago. It really is one of our strengths is that we can get in here and actually have a pseudo-funny adult conversation about fun things and make it entertaining enough for people that want to come in. Norm's asking,
45-minute podcast. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
That's a
T,
good chunk of time.
Norm said we should do a small meetup at the Science Center again. We probably
We
should.
did. We should.
Yeah, we should probably do that. Maybe with Jimmy or something.
You know, I'll talk. Yeah, Jeff, we'll talk at the beginning of the year because maybe
We're doing like smaller groups,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
tinier gatherings, you know.
and then do like a family meetup at the and maybe during the time that needs like an off time that's not so busy. You know, like
I gotcha.
because our guys will show up at any time. So
Right.
like maybe right before school, like April.
I have a bunch of little like sharks teeth
not
and
bad.
fossils
Yeah.
stuff I collected. Everybody who comes,
All right.
we'll start a fossil collection.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun, dude. Hell yeah.
Seeing you, bud.
Love you, man. Be
Happy
good.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Oh, you don't have. Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
always.
You know what you're doing.
I take it every time.
Take care, buddy.
You as well.
We'll get together after the holidays.
Oh, yeah, we got a new
It's really fun.
sponsor.
It's addicting. You can play it anytime you'd like.
Okay. Well, next time.
All right, cool.
Yep. Come on by.
See ya.
All right.
All right, so that's good.
That was really good. Yeah. Jimmy's a home run every time.
Yep.
He's such a nice man.
And now we'll do.
I want to see what his face looked like as a kid when he talked about dinosaurs, and then line it up with his face now as a man when he talks about dinosaurs, and see how exactly the same it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guaranteed, guaranteed it would be like, you know, the only other person I've seen like that, you know, our buddy Shane Hartline, the actor. You see Shane Hartline as a little boy acting and talking, and then you see him now as an actor, and you put him side by side, and he's not changed.
Yeah. No,
He's just, it's the same person.
The
Is this are we zooming?
Yeah, I was gonna text Vince and just make sure that he's ready.
Yep.
You start looking at the dinosaurs, and that's where it becomes crazy. Like I watch.
It's the time I can't.
Yeah, the immense amount of time, and then we're so like our brains are self-centered, right? Because we evolved to be that way. So like we think we're really special, and society has done that, I think, a little bit too. But it's like we're looking at our lifespan as a long time, because that is a long time to us, because we're self-centered, you know what I'm saying? So we're like, oh, even 75 to 80 years are like, oh, it's a long time. And it's such a just blink of an eye of, you know, Earth's history. And then you get bigger than that, but just like animals living on Earth. And it's like the entire human race is a tiny blip in history. If you look at those long timelines where it's like how long dinosaurs lived and like the life timeline, humans are just a tiny blip of it. And so you're just like, what the hell? Like dinosaurs were around millions of years, and then they changed so much. But they changed. That's the thing. We're like, no way this T-Rex turned into a fucking chicken. But it's like you're talking about million years or whatever. That, you know, whatever it was, millions of years, 100 million years ago. And it's like that amount of time. So it could change so slowly that, of course, there's a drastic change. But I can't even comprehend it. That's why evolution's so hard for people to understand. You know, because it doesn't even make sense.
I think that one might be harder because it involves yourself, and then you start applying what you are and how you look.
Hey, you look at a primate, a
it's
monkey.
very
now,
difficult for you to go, nah.
It can't. It's impossible. It's magic, which is kind of funny because, like, I don't believe in this magic, but this other magic I do. It's easier to wrap our heads around, like, supernatural power rather than long-term evolution, little by little.
Oh, the Magic game last night, that was a heartbreaker. God damn it. But I didn't agree with I don't know if it was Dante I forget who was saying it, but he was saying that should have been a jump ball because Goga tied him up, but I didn't think it was a jump ball. They look amazing though. Like as a true like basketball team, I think they look freaking fantastic. That broke my heart. I could barely go to bed after that.
Maybe you need to email him. He's still good, but
Yeah, well, because he would have retained, because was it a foul or it wasn't a foul, and they had possession, so that's why they had to get it back. That makes sense. That makes sense, Norm. Yeah, because I was like, I didn't think he tied him up enough to get a jump ball. So what you're saying, yeah, that makes sense.
you could email Vince the Zoom link.
All right.
I'm gonna pee.
I'm gonna get in line for that as well. Go. You know, keyed up, I went last night. It's really good. They have a great barbecue. And I had the turkey from City Barbecue for lunch today. I brought a bunch of just turkey slices because it's so good. Yeah, for Shinio, I didn't want Suggs on that three-pointer at the end. For some reason. APK, put him on it. Oh yeah, I will tell Vince when we talk to him. I'll be like, "Hey man, we need your address for a Christmas card. Give it out on the show." Tracy's in the chat room busting her balls.
Yeah.
That's what a good quarterback does, though. They bust your balls. They cup check. They slap your cock.
Well,
They're yelling at you.
Yeah, well, I started
So I'm gonna
signing the Christmas cards and then sealing the envelopes. And
Oh,
I'm
don't
like,
see. You don't need to seal them.
and then I was like, oh shit!
We got extra envelopes. We're fine.
Jeff's Bagels.
We got extra envelopes. We're fine.
And
We're good.
so we gotta run over and get.
Should I tell the chat room what Tracy did in our studio yesterday?
No. Well, we walked in and we saw a purse on the counter. We're like, "Who's here?" And then I'm like,
And then I heard these noises. I
And
was
then
like, "Is that the Godzilla pinball machine?" And Tom's like,
no.
"No. There's someone in our bathroom." And I was like, "Well, they're dropping it off."
No. Come on, don't embarrass her.
Sounds
She wasn't doing that.
It sounds like somebody's. It sounds
pouring
like
out a fish tank in there.
That's one of my favorites. I was trying to think of a new one. It sounds like somebody's jumping in muddy puddles in there. And then we left her one square of toilet paper, so she had to wipe with the roll. She wiped with the roll.
No, come on.
Because, there's a little bit of paper on the roll, and you just take it like a corn cob, and you just wrap it right between your lips.
Come on.
That's the noise it makes, too.
Oh, I need to see what we're going to talk to Vince about.
BDM Emily, from what I understand, yes, I do believe a Jeff's Bagel Run is coming to DeLand. Tom and I wanted to buy a Jeff's Bagel Run and bring it to DeLand next to the Stetson College. I think, and he thinks it'd be a home run. But then a bunch of people that have a lot more money than us pulled their money and invested in one, and I believe it's coming there in the next 6 months. So you can Google it, but I'm almost positive DeLand.
And they'll be rich and will continue to not be.
Yeah, and then every day we'll come in here and tell you the same fucking stories and the same dumb jokes instead of being wild-ass Volusia County Bagel Boys. We should be the wild-ass Volusia County Bagel Boys. Here was my idea, and I'm just going to lay it out there. I wanted Tom, because Tom is such a good businessman, to talk to Jeff. Jeff, also a very good businessman. And our idea would to do... Now, tell me if you guys think this is funny. It would be Tom and Dan's Jeff's Bagel Run. I thought that'd be hilarious. And we'd have to get like permission from Jeff. Tracy wouldn't be Tracy's bagel runs. Hers would be Tracy's I was going to make a diarrhea joke. Diarrhea runs. Yes, like a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You get it. I could use one of their bagels. Thank you, Kupo. That's way better. Tracy's got the runs. She didn't. She didn't poop in there. What are you looking up? Black movies?
No. How'd you know what I Googled?
I'm gonna ask Vince Taylor if he's ever seen Black Valley Girls. Let's see if they have a theme song for Black Valley Girls. Everybody I mentioned to, I can tell who's seen it and not seen it, and everyone's seen it.
What Marvel movie did we just watch? Blade.
There's actually a real movie called that. Oh, dude, this is an old porno. It's an old porno from 1986 called Black Valley Girls. A gang of black women who talk like Valley Girls go to work in a combo rib shack sushi bar. That's fantastic. Where can I find this? It's got Peter North in it.
Oh, the new Marvel or the Captain America.
War Machine one or
yeah, War Machine. I saw a
chat room wants to know if the boys are watching Skeleton Crew. It looks good.
What's Skeleton
Star
Crew?
Wars Skeleton Crew. I've seen the like trailers for it.
Is it cartoon?
I don't think so. Is it a cartoon, guys?
Is it like the Rebellion or whatever?
Too much. There's too much.
Yeah,
It's live action. Yeah, that's what I thought.
okay. I have not. I didn't even know about it.
Isn't that kind of like A-Team meets Bad News Bears meets Star Wars, where it's kind of like a ragtag?
That's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
right?
ragtag. It's just a ragtag group of misfits, and it's up to them to save the world. Skeleton Crew. They might get it done, or they may not. Everybody's been telling me to watch Landman.
Let's ask what does the chat room want us to talk
Yeah,
to
give
Vince
us some
about?
questions for Vince Taylor.
We'll just let them do the work.
Yeah, they're
God.
better.
They're just watching a podcast on Wednesday afternoon.
Vince Taylor is a local comedian, and he has a podcast called The New Blurred Order, which is a black-centric entertainment and nerd culture podcast. First question, what is your address? From Tracy. Second question, how many times did you find Tom jacking off behind the tree?
No, right.
These motherfuckers are out to get you lately.
I did that when
Do you know who's got you in her sights lately? Is Melissa.
Wasn't
Melissa,
working.
what did you do to Melissa?
That's what. Anytime I start paying someone, they hate me.
I can't disagree with that. That
They're like, what?
is facts.
They're like, what the fuck? Where you give me this shit,
Yeah.
fatso?
Fuck you, fatso.
I was like, what?
And your little M-word
Yeah,
friend.
yeah,
you-
I'll
like,
give
he
you.
doesn't even-
I'll show
he Doesn't
you.
even say anything. I'll shit on your desk, you piece of shit. What did you do to her? I go to look at the best of. It's just all times Tom looks like a fool. The classics. Tracy seems to think that it might be payback for what you do to them.
Well, that could be true.
Yeah, about like,
yeah. All
now, it doesn't work for me because I gave up. right? Like I'm not really immune to it, but I'm the old guy. I've been doing it for so long. I like it. I like the way you communicate to me. It's fine. I love it. It works.
Patch, December 10th.
Oh, EJ's trying to troll you. EJ says, my wife said the worst joke about Tom the other day. It was too far for even me, but I did laugh. And then he's just going to leave that there. Don't bite.
Okay,
don't bite. You don't care about that joke.
Your wife didn't say the worst joke about me.
Yeah, we don't care about it. She's sweet. I've met her plenty of times.
In fact, there is no joke that will ever hurt my feelings in the history of time. And
that's probably true.
You can.
I've seen people say some really shitty things to you being shitty, and you are unaffected by them. Like I'm talking about business. I'm rewinding. I've been in meetings where people are telling you things that are ridiculous, and you're like, okay, like you are pretty unaffected. Versus me, I've been in meetings with you before where people have said things to me, and I'll stand up, I'll punch you I'll punch you in your goddamn face, right?
Well,
or fall out of a chair or scream. I'll scream it. I screamed at Jack Bradshaw at 903 Mills Market.
Because a joke will never offend me.
I got it, Vince.
Because it's a joke. Now, if you were a dick and you wanted to be a dick,
Vince Taylor.
That's different.
Vince Taylor. He's unapologetically black and unapologetically nerdy. What's up, buddy? Did you hear my song? I was singing your shirt. I think Tom thought, uh-oh. Do you not have us?
Are you there?
Hello. Oh, hello, Vince. Vince Taylor.
I can't hear y'all. Hold on.
Oh.
It's not us.
Are y'all there? Can you hear me?
Yep,
I can hear
we got you. You got us?
There you are.
Oh,
yeah, I can
right.
hear you now.
Man, I
bad.
sang your shirt too, and I have like my voice is going, but I like your shirt. That's cool.
Thanks, man. This is my merch.
I figured.
This is what we give away.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's what you get from the podcast. I was just talking about. Hold on, let me put this up so everybody can see. Look at that. There you go, guys.
Anybody interested from Tom and Dan? I mean, I don't know how many there are out there, but
well, there's like
by all
three
means,
black.
go on up.
There's three black guys. There's three black guys.
So I got 33% covered right now.
You know what's funny is that like in the BDM group, they're probably not really like black people are probably not really well represented. But out of listeners, especially ACT, we have more black listeners than any show I've ever worked on in my life. Like,
okay, so 5, 6?
No, it's like a lot, and we have a lot of Latin listeners, especially like we got a lot of them through ACT. I think like a lot of like
we may not have a lot of black listeners, but we have a lot of really dark Puerto Ricans.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah, we are stronger with the Spanish people. We're stronger with the Latin people. I don't know why we're stronger with the Latin people.
My Miami upbringing, they relate to. They're like, I like that gringo.
And I think it's also my MAGA machismo that I bring to the table. And you know the Latins love the MAGA machismo. And when you look at me, I look like MAGA machismo.
Oh man, that's dope. Okay,
the guy with a puppet behind him, right? Like,
yeah. Oh my God, that's like Deadpool mixed with animal. Like, did you see that dog in the movie? Like, that's an ugly puppet, yo. Wow, yeah, that's. I wouldn't even mop my floor with that puppet. I'm sorry, that's probably a part of the show. So.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. Well,
no, but I did have one request though, bro.
Please,
please.
Yes.
I know I'm the nerd guy, and I relish in that and love that, and I want to continue being that, but. Baseball is crazy this week, bro. Like,
well, let's talk baseball.
Let's talk a little baseball.
The Juan Soto, I just want to talk at least a little bit about the Juan Soto $765 million deal.
I think we should.
Yeah. Vince, let's talk anything.
Yeah.
Like, listen,
whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, we don't. We'll talk about whatever. It does not matter.
Yeah.
We're not pigeonholing ourselves into like only nerd stuff.
Whatever you want.
Baseball. We'll talk about. Champs. I got a lot to say about champs.
Do you? You got a lot to say about champs? Don't let Jen be listening, yo, because I don't want to make you lose that position. I know you're like her best friend. You know what I'm saying?
What if we went back to champs and gave a speech to the employees? me and you, we're the greatest success story.
You can't even. Y'all realize the talent y'all got back here in the stock room right now that you're using to put Nikes on the. And yo, Tommy. That was no bullshit. Excuse my language, but
No, you're good.
I mean, we're not live right now.
No, you're
All right.
good. You're good. We're yeah.
Look,
we're
I'm
fine.
gonna speak even consistent. There was no BS stock room. Like you had to use ladders and stuff. Like there was a lot. Like the top of it was really high, bro. I used to go in and you'd be like on the top of the ladder. You know what I'm saying? Am I tripping?
Yeah,
Am I wrong about
I'd be
that?
up there. I'd be like, well, he's been up there for a while.
Yeah, it's like it's the safest place to masturbate.
He went up there all day.
Yeah, God damn, how many
Smells
you
funny.
got?
What's going on up there?
How many you got in you, dude? Jesus Christ, you're dehydrated. This guy's blowing dust at the end. All right, would you like to begin?
Nah, yo, but there's plenty else to talk about too, yo. There's a lot going on in the Nerdverse as well. Craven comes out tomorrow,
Cool.
technically, so that's another big deal. And a lot of folks are railing about Wicked. I don't know if y'all seen Wicked.
I have. So yeah,
Okay.
I've
I've
got strong opinions on it, and Tom's seen it too.
I also saw a meme about they broke a record for the longest reoccurring Marvel character of all time. And it's something that people wouldn't guess, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about it. All right.
Oh, wow.
Do you want
Yeah,
to begin?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
we'll
let's
jump
do it.
into baseball. All right,
Yeah.
here we go.
Run it,
And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. If you like watching podcasts, and we'd love to have you, just search at Tom and Dan Live on either Twitch or YouTube. Like and subscribe.
On Zoom with us right now, he's from the New Blurred Order podcast.
Yes.
Also, a local stand-up comedian.
You could see him touring somewhere in North America. You could see him maybe on a boat somewhere. Like, you go all over the place, don't you, Vince?
Yeah, man, all over the boats. Trying to chill on the boats.
That's hard, isn't it?
So I can be on land more.
Yeah.
So when I get off, people aren't like, "Do you still do comedy?"
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've been doing like the last 12 months
Yeah.
on at sea.
That's hard,
So
though.
that happens.
That's a hard life. But ladies and gentlemen, a very good friend of the show, and he's going to teach us a few things today about what's going on in the nerd world and maybe a little baseball. It is comedian Vince Taylor. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's good to be back. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but I'm just going to dive right on in because I know how much you guys love The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Well,
I saw Wicked.
I saw, like, we both have seen the movie Wicked, but I will say that I went begrudgingly to see Wicked
Okay.
at Dr. Phillips, right?
Okay.
As a Broadway musical, and I
Yeah.
loved it. Like
Yeah.
that ending scene before intermission when they take Elphaba to the ceiling, and
Okay.
and it's like a real human, and she's in the rafters, and she has this long black coat, like kind of hanging, and like it's unbelievable. It's like the craziest
Okay.
thing I've ever seen, which is
Wow.
probably why my hot take is that the ending of what we got in the movie, to me, as a guy that likes theater, not as exciting. It was great.
Okay.
It was great, but the energy level to me is just unmatched. It's just not the same level of energy.
Question: did you opt to go see Wicked, or was this a wife special?
I went with a family, but I was excited to go. I did want to go because my daughter really likes it. And then something that blew my mind, which I'm not sure a lot of kids know this, and I even I blank on time, right? I forget that Ariana Grande is in her 30s. You know, she's not some like young teen or 20-year-old teeny bopper, right? Like, she's been around a minute. My daughter had no idea that Ariana Grande was playing Glinda in Wicked. Had no idea. She was just like, oh, that's Glinda. Which I thought was
wow.
weird. It was a very weird thing.
And I was dragged by women.
Yeah.
I would not have chosen to do
Yeah.
that, but I did see it, and it was good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm not going to talk ass and say that I didn't enjoy it because it was creative story prequel to the Wizard of Oz, which
Yeah.
and I had not seen the play. I didn't know anything about it, so I was going in totally blind. I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but I am a fan of creative storytelling.
Yes.
And it was a creative story.
And our two leads, I'm blanking on, obviously I know Ariana Grande just because she's Ariana Grande. What's the other woman's name who played Elphaba?
Oh, you know what? You would hit me with that.
Sorry. Oh, God,
it's
Tom and
Cynthia
I've done that.
Arvo, I believe it is Cynthia Arvo. I
They
think it's
were
Cynthia
great. Like, I don't think the casting.
Arvo.
I thought the casting there was phenomenal. I like the chemistry between the two of them. I think that's good. I could have done without Jeff Goldblum, but that's me. And
Well,
I,
let let me just back y'all up. I ain't seen it.
Oh crap! I'm so sorry. Jeez, I'm lighting it up. Sorry.
Yeah, I ain't seen it, and I'm not saying that I'm rushing out to see it or not, but it is in our lexicon.
Yeah,
it is fascinating, and it's not. I haven't seen it not because I'm protesting it. I just ain't made it out to see it yet. I mean, I ain't even seen Venom yet, which is beyond me because I'm like the biggest Spider-Man fan I know on this side of the Mason-Dixon line. But I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I just wanted to hear from y'all because knowing how manly of men y'all is.
Oh yeah, we're the manliest.
It's interesting to hear your perspective on a musical, but I'm sitting here listening to all this class coming from Dan's side, like, oh yes, we loved it. And
I like Broadway, dude. I'll say it all day. Yeah, I'm a Broadway guy. I am. I'm weak, and I'm a weak little man, and I love my sing-along shows. I love them.
It sounds like you got 99 problems and a witch ain't one.
Hey, look at this guy. Hold on, let me give you
Nerd Dad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy coming to you.
That's the kind of jokes me and Vince used to tell in the stockroom at Champ Sports.
That's right. He'll be open up to it. So,
it's the first time
things to take away from it. Like I haven't seen Wicked yet, but evidently in there they tease that Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, her father was not necessarily depicted clearly, and I don't know if y'all had any guesses about who her real dad could be. I mean, clearly she turned out to be green.
Yeah, it's easy.
So that narrows down the options.
No, it's so easy to figure out. They kind of show you and
reveal it.
Well, and that is one of my hot takes. I'll give you one more, Vince, on that movie. The reveal that you're talking about, and I'll tread very lightly, they bumble it. They bumble the reveal on the dad. Because if you know anything about it, and I know not a ton about it, I've just seen the Broadway musical. As soon as the person walks in or whatever the scene is happening, I'm like, I leaned over to Andrew and I go, "That's it." Like it's. They could have done it a little more. The way they bumbled it is the reveal. You hear the person's voice. There you go. So because you hear the person's voice, you instantly, at least I did. I go, "Oh my God, that's her dad." So I'll just leave that there.
Okay.
They bumbled
detective work.
I think they bumbled
I'm looking forward to it. I just don't know, guys, if this is going to do. Do you remember when Barbie came out?
Barbie was the hottest thing I'd ever seen.
You went outside and everybody was wearing pink.
Yes.
Your neighbor was wearing pink. Your mom, your kids, everybody was wearing pink. And it kind of was like this whole generational, like this vibe that just kind of, I don't think that's going to happen with Wizard of Oz, but I'm wondering if the movie itself will open itself up to other productions, kind of like originally when The Wiz came out.
Yeah.
Shortly after.
I love The Wiz.
I don't think we're getting a Wiz version of Wicked, but I think I'd be open to it. I'm just curious who would play those roles now, because remember back The Wiz was Michael Jackson, Diana Ross.
Yeah. By the way, I remember staying up really, really late to watch The Wiz on standard television. It was like when they would do that, where they do like, it's the television debut of The Wiz. And I was like, oh my God, I had to stay up because I was a big Michael Jackson fan, and just that style of music would have been something that I was really, really into. I would like to see The Wizard of Oz super updated, and I would like to see the Wizard as Diddy.
Oh my God! Yo, Diddy.
I would like to see Diddy as the Wizard.
That's an odd casting choice.
I would like to see Dorothy is Azalea Banks.
All right.
I'm killing it. I'm destroying it right now. I would like to see, who else do I like to see? I would like to see. Okay. I would like to see the Cowardly Lion is Dave Blunt. Big fat Dave Blunt. I would like to see. Well, I've done enough. I'm stealing all. Like, you can play. You want to play? Anybody else want to play?
Yo,
I'm crushing it.
The Diddy choice has got me reeling. Like somewhere between Diddy, I don't know. I was thinking maybe the Tin Man is Chris Brown with all the moves. You know what I'm saying? He really got no heart. You know what I mean?
That's a home run. And he's got no heart.
The Cowardly Lion as
and he's got no heart.
Cowardly Lion, Terry Crews. America's Got Talent.
Put him up. I can see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dorothy, I don't know.
What do you think?
Dorothy, I'm looking at somewhere, but you know what? Glorilla. I don't know if y'all know
I
who that is
love
or not.
Glorilla.
30 seconds to Google Glorilla. But Glorilla, turned up with my, bro.
I like that.
I'm here for like Glorilla pulling up in
Yeah.
like shorts that come all the way up to her thighs.
Yes.
Skipping and twerking all the way down the yellow brick road, bro. With the click, bro. Talking about stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I like.
I'm
She's
with
got
that.
a song on Madden that is fire. I forget the song on Madden, but it's like,
I think-
go ahead, Glow.
Yeah, hold on. I think it's hold on.
Oh, it's so good. Me
Okay.
and my daughter dancing all around the house. Oh, she's good. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Glorilla.
I need you guys to help me with some Wizard of Oz trivia real quick.
All right.
So because I asked my wife this after we saw Wicked, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I was thinking of Wizard of Oz, and I was like, wait. When she landed and her house landed on some sort of Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
And they're like, that was the Wicked Witch of the West?
Wicked Witch of the West.
Wait,
yeah.
yeah.
It's of the East.
Oh, is it the East?
Yeah, because the Wicked Witch that we know is the Wicked Witch of the West. Elphaba is the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay, yeah. So she landed on the
So-
Wicked Witch of the East, and then
Right.
and the pink one,
Glenda.
the Glenda,
the North.
she's from the North. And then I was like, well, who's from the South? And Crystal's like, no one from the South. I'm like, what?
Too stupid for witches.
And I'm like, there's no,
Yeah. No, too dumb. Just a bunch of bucktooth fattos. No, there's not enough education in the South to produce a witch or a wizard.
there's got to be a Confederate princess
A
from the South.
fairy god General E. Lee is we looking for
Like a Daisy Dukes
Yeah.
and
A Southern princess,
a
yeah.
Southern Belle princess. That's
Yeah.
a little bit, she.
Yeah, she's
know,
like the Hawk-Tuah girl. It's Haley Welch, the Hawk-Tuah girl.
But
fairy godmother's DeSantis is no longer living alive. I can't see it, bro. Yo, but you're right though. The Southeast arrives again in the land of Oz. Is that what you're saying, bro?
No,
Go ahead.
He always says that.
No, but
he
there-
always says that.
But like, there's a west one, a east one, a north one. There's no south one. And
Somebody's saying in the chat room, Ryan or Ghost of Manu Bull said that I already said years ago that Paula Dean was the Wicked Witch of the South.
there's got to be the princess of the South because there's two witches on the west and east, and then
What do
two
you mean,
princesses.
a good and a bad?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna tell
yeah.
you something right now. If there's a Wicked Witch of the South, she ain't sending flying monkeys.
No, no.
But she got a staff. They might not be getting paid,
This guy's
but
going-
she definitely got a staff.
It's going hard today.
Vince.
God damn.
A generational staff that got good quarters with chicken and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And they have stuff to do during the day. There's no cotton in them fields. Let me stop.
Goddamn.
Okay, let's move on. We're gonna move on. What else you got?
But I did want to say this about Wicked though. I love when a movie can turn, or a show, or any type of production can turn your original thoughts about the way that something was depicted and twisted on its ear. We went through this whole time thinking that Dorothy is being hunted by this evil, wicked witch who's looking to kill her and her friends for no reason whatsoever. But then when you watch Wicked from an adult perspective, and you realize, oh, no. Here is some little lily white chick who's just happened to pull up in a land full of short folks, and the very first act she commits when she lands there is murder. The very first thing that she does is murder this lady's sister. And she doesn't stop there. She steals her shoes. She's on some Brooklyn stuff. Like, she's like, yo, what size you wearing, homie? That's the very first thing she do. Sis pulls up, like, yo, where's my sister? Dorothy's like, I don't know. She's dead under the house.
Why are you wearing her shoes, bro?
Her shoes rolled up, and here you are rocking my sister's shoes.
Yeah,
And
don't rock my
just
dead
be
sister's
cool.
shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be cool. Like, I'm the Wicked Witch. I'm chilling, riding around, smoking something while I'm riding on my broomstick through Oz. Next thing you know, I get a text saying, yo, you know your sister just got hurt. I got to pull up, and you sitting there chilling with your clique, and I'm supposed to be cool with that? Oh, no, you getting these monkeys. You getting these poppies. You getting sent everywhere, bitch.
It's making
I'm
an
not
excellent
feeling it.
argument.
And it's just so crazy how, like, my whole life, I gone through thinking that Dorothy was the hero. Oh, no, you killed my sister.
Yeah.
Prepare to die.
Yeah,
I love the way that this movie kind of revamps that whole thing. Like, just looking at it from a completely different perspective. They tried to do this with Acolyte on Disney Plus.
Yes, they did.
They tried to turn the Jedis into the enemy. They didn't do a good job with it. Didn't do a good job. They could do better. But I love the role reversal of taking what we thought originally and saying there's a different perspective. And that's why I think, even though I'm not a big musical fan, I might actually go out and spend some money on Wicked.
Yeah, I think you would like it, man. I think the acting and obviously it's beautiful. You're not going to spend that price and look at it and be like, oh, this is visually terrible. Like, there's no such thing as that. It's great. But yeah, I would like to see what you think about it. And I think that's really why I like the story so much. It reminded me, to tie it back to comic books, it reminds me of like, sort of like a version of, Wicked is a better example because it's the same story, but you see a different perspective. It's kind of like Red Son, Superman Red Son, where you get like a different tale that I don't know about, but is still in the same universe, and it's super creative. That's like something that I mean, I know that's not a really good comparative example, but
No. Same.
I agree.
Like,
that kind of stuff is fun.
there's a universe also where the Joker's the hero. There's a universe where Batman doesn't actually become Batman because Bruce Wayne doesn't survive the attack in the alley, but his father does. And so we end up getting Mr. Wayne, his dad. I forget his
really
name.
Old Batman.
You get old Batman?
I'm really old Batman.
AARP Batman. So yeah, man. I like it when you can revamp a story like that. So
yeah, man.
That for me makes this whole aspect of this exciting.
Well, let's dip into it while the energy level is high, and we can bounce around a little bit. Let's talk about your opinion of Juan Soto. Correct me.
Oh my God.
Is Juan Soto, is this the biggest deal in baseball history of all time?
Okay, first of all, I know that's a weird gap. Just before we kind of delve into the ludicrous announcement of Juan Soto getting $765 million over the course of the next 15 years, making him the highest paid athlete in the world right now, higher than Ronaldo, higher than Messi, higher than everybody on the international stage. This one dude from the Dominican Republic is now going to get paid more than everybody. And dare I say, Mets, he ain't gonna last 15 years, bro. You gave the dude a 15-year contract when he's in his 26. He's not going to be playing when he's 40. It's just not going to happen.
My wife screamed. Like Andrea yelled when she came in. She didn't even yell the number. She's like, 15 years? 15 years. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy lockdown number.
Most marriages don't last 15 years. Like, how you going to get into to be as a football player? What's up, Tom? You about to say something?
Well, Vince, I was going to ask you because they do this in the NFL all the time. I know less about baseball, but I do know about the NFL. It's
all business up there.
And what will happen in the NFL is there'll be a wide receiver, and everybody, it happens with quarterbacks too, everybody wants to have a record-breaking contract. And because that makes headlines. And so and you usually only get one, really, for the most part. Sometimes you get two, but really it's only one, and then something happens.
No, I mean, that's exactly what LeBron said in series in the starting five. He says that. He's like, you only get a couple shots to do this.
So, and what will happen is they'll sometimes structure the contract just so that the number that is advertised can be the record, even though the team, there's the guaranteed money is smaller, and technically it's like, all right, it's a multiple year contract, but there's so many things like you'll probably never see this total number, but we can release it.
It's like the Hulk Hogan Gawker lawsuit.
The agent can release this number.
He'll never get the money.
And technically it's true, but it's not really true because they won't see the guaranteed money everybody sees because that's guaranteed.
That's the weird thing about baseball, and that's what the chat room's going crazy on. Baseball, for the most part, they get guaranteed money.
But if he doesn't play the full 15 years, which he can't, like Vince said, then he'll never see $700 million, right? He'll see a portion.
No, he's going to see it, and let me tell you why. Well, first of all, I wish I was there. Maybe next time.
Sorry about it. Yeah, we'll get you in here one time.
No pressure, but I ain't gonna lie, this is very convenient too.
Yeah, I like this too.
For those who didn't like jump from the nerd combo to the MLB combo, let me just kind of bridge these two. So Juan Soto was on a team called the New York Yankees. Y'all know who that is, and he was the guy who led up to Aaron Judge. So they had a Batman and Robin thing going on. All right, Aaron Judge is the AL MVP for the American League. So Juan Soto goes up. Juan Soto is a bully. He's a bully at the bat. I've never seen anybody go to bat and stare down the pitcher the way he does, then dance when he gets his second strike. He does this thing called the Soto shuffle. He can scrub the ground, as I used to say when I was at FAMU. Like, scrub the ground. Like his butt goes almost darn near to the ground.
Yeah.
And then he sits there and he'll look you dead in the eye. You pitch him a ball, he'll hit it, and be like, nah, that's not the pitch I want. Give me the pitch I want. And he will sit there and do that with you 11, 12, 15 pitches in until he gets a pitch, and then he knocks it out. Doesn't always happen, but it happened in the World Series. Oh, excuse me, it didn't happen it did happen in the World Series a couple times. So now what happened is Juan Soto, the Robin of the Batman and Batman, decides, I don't want to be Robin no more. I need to be Batman. Because technically I am the Batman. And so he leaves Batman in the Yankees, moves across the street to the Mets.
Oh, so insulting.
Right across the street. Like, look, the City Life and Yankee Stadium ain't that far. They're just a couple boroughs away.
My daughter asked that. My daughter goes, like, Maisie goes, like, she said to me, she goes, he won't have to get a new house, will he? I was like, I don't think so. I think he's fine. Yeah, he'll be just fine.
Buildings. And so it's just crazy to me. Like, this dude is now going to get paid to do what he did in New York. He's doing it for a different team. And and now the whole world, if I'm a baseball player, I'm looking at my salary and I'm going like, can I get more? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to change a lot. Like, the increase of this, I'm going to be wrong.
I got the breakdown here. So it's $75 million right off the signing bonus.
$75 million is a signing bonus. He gets $51 million per year. He has a buyout at the 5-year mark. So if he wants to get traded somewhere else, then they can buy him out, but then they have to pay him $55 million a year instead of $51 million a year.
Yep, that's the clause.
He's the richest man. There's no way to avoid it. Yeah. He can get injured next year and sit on it.
Yeah, and all payments, there's no deferred money. All payments are immediate.
Do you think
that's nuts?
Do you think he's worth it?
Like, no, he is not worth it. He's absolutely not worth it.
Well, let me challenge that. So. Let me challenge that.
Please.
Maybe he's not worth it in terms of talent because he only, in my opinion, even though Soto's one of my favorite players, and I'm not a Yankees guy, I'm not a New York guy.
I mean, he's a talented player. I'm talking about worth.
Talent. I don't think that he necessarily brings it because he's not good in the outfield. He doesn't necessarily do as much defensively as he does offensively. He's a bat bully. Draw, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know that Citi Field, those first games are going to be so you can up the price on your tickets as of right now because you are now the New York City vibe. You're not going to have any issues filling those seats. You can name your price on those ticket prices. So in terms of ROI, return on investment, I know this ain't too funny, but
no, this is fun. This is interesting.
Now, he's not Shohei Ohtani. He's not a pitcher who can also give you 51 home runs and 59 steals in a season without even doing any pitches. He's not Shohei Ohtani.
He's magic.
And he's not even deferring his money. Shohei deferred his money. He's only getting out of his $700 million contract. He's only getting $2 million a year. Yeah. Can you believe that? That's because his sponsorship are so nuts, but he also wants the team around him to be big enough for them to do what they did last year with the Dodgers, which is to win the World Series. So I just don't think that the Juan Soto necessarily being worth it can all be built down to his talent.
Sure.
What the Juan Soto thing has done is it's taken the Mets from second tier in New York to first tier in New York. Now the Yankees are trying to play to catch up fiddle with the Mets, and that money is going to get paid back very, very quickly. That $765 million, they're going to get that in the first couple of years based off of ticket sales.
What happened to, because you know this more than I do. I'm an Atlanta fan. I don't follow the Mets. That would be disgusting.
Y'all just lost Max too. Oh, that's crazy.
I'm okay with losing Max Fried. Not a fan. He let me down last year. Well, he's a great left-handed pitcher. I don't care. Don't be hurt. You're weak, Max. Get out of here. Go back. Well, he's a California guy, wasn't he? I didn't expect him to go to the Yankees. So he went to the Yankees. What is your opinion of, because I haven't been following, what happened to Pete Alonso? Wasn't he going to be a free agent at the end of this year? How does this affect Pete Alonso and the Mets?
Pete Alonso is currently a free agent right now, okay? But Pete Alonso is what we call a staple in the Mets franchise.
They love him.
He's only played for the Mets. He came up in the Mets farm system.
I like him. He's the polar bear.
He's only known one team. And he's a bat. I mean, he's a good first baseman. I'm not going to lie. If I was Pete Alonso, I would take the pay cut and stay in the Mets franchise for at least one more year. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity to play with Juan Soto, who's arguably the best batter in the MLB, point blank period. I would take a couple $1 million of a pay cut to get my extension for that first base contract if I was the Mets. Now, he can go anywhere he wants. There's a lot of places that could use Pete Alonso. I don't think he had his best year last year. He did show up in the playoffs. He's the reason why they went to the postseason because they had to play against your Braves.
Yeah.
They had to play against your Braves.
And they beat us. Yeah.
Yeah, they beat them. And it was the last at bat. Talk about dramatic, Tommy. I know we're losing you. Tommy is completely tuned out. Like he's
no, I'm listening.
No, he likes sports stuff. He's just trying to think of, like, he's running numbers in there, trust me.
Well, let me say this. It came like when baseball comes down to moments, unlike football, basketball, where there's a whole bunch of moments, comes down to 8th inning, 9th inning, 7th inning moments. And we're talking about the Braves were up 3-2 in the 9th inning.
I thought we had it.
Bottom of the 9th, all right? They're down. There's 2 people on base. Pete Alonso's up. The announcer says this may be Pete Alonso's last time up to bat as a Met.
Yeah.
Like, it's so dramatic. He's going to go up. If he strikes out, he has no more. His season's over.
That's it.
He hits a home run, 2-run home run. 3-run home run. Now they got the lead. Then they go to the playoff, walk off. It doesn't get any better than that. That's why I love baseball.
Awesome.
Like that. That's what's up. And so his whole year wiped away. Not necessarily that productive the whole year, but now he done put up in the playoffs when people are paying attention. And so he's continues to be that bad. He hits like a home run every game the next couple games, but his contract's up. And now they just spent $765 million on the best batter in the MLB. Yeah. What do you do with this guy when you don't need him no more? I say keep him because
I would too.
Kind of like a mascot at this point.
And people love him. Yeah, the people love him, and he's been with the team, and he's been through a lot with the car accident, and then he went through this meditation thing to get like he had to go through this whole thing to get like his hitting back. And Juan Soto, one more thing on Juan before we move on to more nerd stuff.
Everything.
What's weird about him is he's one of the only hitters, to put it in perspective for Tom, where he is the guy that when he walks up, and when you see a first couple of pitches, you can almost tell, you're like, he's going to hit this out of the park.
Yeah,
like he already knows. He seems to know. He knows what the pitcher's going to throw. He knows what the pitcher's tendencies are. He's always thinking about it. And he gets up there and he
is that studying? Is that just practice?
Yeah, it is just practice. Yeah, okay. And studying.
So he's just obsessed with the practice.
And his batter IQ is probably just, I mean, you can't even grade it.
Yo, if you want to see somebody get their feelings hurt, Google Juan Soto, Hunter Gaddis at bat. All right, this is Juan Soto.
This will be our homework for the listeners today.
What is it?
Yeah, it will be worth it if you're a baseball fan.
It's a pitcher versus Juan Soto.
This is a clinic course of how to take an at bat. This is when Cleveland and New York had to face each other for the New York Yankees to advance to the World Series, right? They were the only thing in front of them was I'm sorry, was it the Detroit? No, it was Cleveland. So now Juan Soto goes up. He's facing Hunter Gaddis. Juan Soto wants a fastball in the middle. That's where he hits it out the ball.
You don't try to force
Hunter Gaddis knows this.
Yes.
So Hunter's throwing him everything but that. So Juan is like, no. He'll hit it and foul it off on purpose. And he looks back at Hunter. It's like, yeah, I got you.
Like he even knows how to hit foul ball. And like he just knows what he's doing. Perfect.
But the worst part, Dan, is that he looks at you. Like in baseball, there are these unwritten rules. Like when the pitcher gets done striking you out, he automatically turns his back. He don't even look at you. Yeah. Pedro Martinez was one of the few people who would like stare at you in your face. Yeah. But like Juan Soto, when you
puts the heat on you.
You're not supposed to sit there and stare at the pitcher and be like, "Yo, come on, give me another one."
He also does another thing. He'll do another thing that's super annoying to guys like me, where he'll call a time or he'll step off, just to get the pitcher out of rhythm. Like he'll step back. Yeah, he'll step back and like grab his bat and like take a little more, and like because he's got that swagger, dude.
It's a chess match.
Yeah, and then he'll do like this. He'll be like this, Tommy. He'll be like. Yeah. This is what I'm gonna do. Yeah. It'd be like, yeah, okay, I got it.
You can see the confidence in it. Yeah, it's very arrogant. Yeah, but it's pretty cool too.
Like, screw this guy. You know what I'm saying? But then he hits it out the park. So when you see an at bat like that, you literally are thinking this dude controls his at bats. He strikes out if he wants to. Maybe.
He does.
But you need to have a guy like this on your team, and so now they got Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor.
I love Lindor.
MVP worthy, Mark Vientos. They got, he's a free agent right now, but Jose Iglesias, the dude who brought in the OMG vibe. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They got a squad right now, and dare I say it's probably all Latino because of Steve Cohen's wife. I don't know if y'all know he married this young Puerto Rican chick, and now the whole lineup is like all Latino. I can't say that.
She's in his ear. He's like, you got to get these guys. You got to get the good players.
I'm here for it. Do y'all ever go to the games here locally? Like, we got the Tampa Bay Rays that, ain't but an hour and a half away.
I won't go to Tampa because I think Tampa's disgusting.
Come on. We got some Tampa listeners.
But I'm sorry, I'll cut that out. But I will go. I'll go to a Tortugas game in Daytona. Yeah, I'll go to like a minor league game.
All right, yeah, I'll go check out the Oviedo Lions every now and then.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's your excitement and Daniel's joy for baseball. I think like people like me who don't understand what I'm watching.
Tell Vince what you did though for your boys.
What?
Oh, it's baseball, baby.
I got him some baseball gloves. Because
Hey!
Awesome.
That's because I want
That's some old school cool
I
ass right there.
want the
dude.
1950s Americana of
Yes.
playing pitch with my sons.
Yep.
Well, right before, and then I see the aliens come pass over. Then I'm like, oh my God.
That's a good pivot back into nerd. That's a great pivot back into nerd. This guy's a genius.
And then I'm running all weird like Tom Cruise. Anyway, so
Let's squeeze a little more nerd in here before
Okay.
we have to get rid of
Please.
Vince because I don't want to lose time here.
But we'll end with the quick baseball thing where I would love to find out who like Juan Soto and these guys that are brilliant technicians at batting, what their training is like and what they do that's above and beyond other people.
God, you know what some people are doing now, and it's going to hurt your heart.
VR training?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
see
Well,
it.
quarterbacks are doing VR training.
Every single day I'm watching baseball, when it's in season, there will be a commercial for software that kids are using to get in high school and middle school just to get
the reps. You can
better.
sit there and then you can see where pitches are going, I'm
Vince,
guessing, from the plate.
I've talked to you about baseball, but did you play? Because you look like you played.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
I played briefly, but I was more football and basketball.
Gotcha.
Obviously, the moment I graduated high school, I gave all that up. So it was a nice stint with the Lyman Greyhounds.
Yeah, and comedy it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I played a little baseball, a little league. I played mostly junior, senior, midget. I played for the Oviedo Lions.
I'm right here.
Even though I was supposed to be playing for Winter Springs. But yeah, man, I was big into sports, but then once college came to the forefront, drugs became more important. So,
He's an honest man, folks.
Well, let's talk a little nerd because I saw
I'm right here.
I saw a meme, and I don't want to spoil anything because I didn't know that this was the case, and I'm surprised I just learned about it now. And it goes to show you that people are like sensitive about like giving up cameos and spoilers.
Oh yeah, buddy.
So if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm about to say something that you may not. But this was a meme that showed up on my Facebook, so it seems like they were okay with kind of releasing a little bit of a spoiler.
Well, I also feel like how long has that movie been out? Like it's out of the theaters or. Yeah,
you ain't seen it, you ain't nobody.
It's on streaming. If you cared about it, you should have loaded that up.
And I haven't seen it yet, I
heard it's great.
And this is not an ending thing. This is just about a cameo. But apparently, the meme I saw was this is the longest running same character in Marvel history, and the Blade cameo in Wolverine and Deadpool. Made it.
I saw this
broke
meme.
the record.
I saw this.
So Wesley Snipes made a cameo as Blade in Deadpool Wolverine, and apparently that cameo made because 98 Blade came out, and he's the longest running actor to ever play a Marvel character since he made that cameo.
That's dope.
And now 26 years later. So I didn't know that Blade made a cameo in Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh yeah. They even talked about that like before
Oh,
it was
did
even
they?
released.
Oh,
I think
okay.
most people sort of were expecting that.
Yeah, the heart. First of all, yes, shout out to Daddy Wesley Snipes because I consider him the father of Marvel cinema.
Yeah, man.
There was no better movie to be released to put Marvel on the map than Blade. And let's consider the alternatives here. Okay, we're talking about Marvel, whose franchise player, let's keep it real, is Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Marvel, if their Juan Soto is Spider-Man. But unlike DC, who decides to drop Christopher Reeves as Clark Kent, or decide to drop Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, both privileged folks, they say, no, we're going to go with the dark black guy with the martial arts who can walk as a vampire during the day, whose mom gives him up as a child, who has to deal with the fact that his mom is with his worst enemy, who has to kill his mom in the first movie. Like, it's completely ridiculous. And that's where they start. Deadpool didn't start the rated R era. Blade was rated R.
I didn't think about that.
It was the very first Marvel movie. And it was after this that Marvel was like, you know what? We might have something going here with this whole movie stuff.
That's interesting.
We get a part 2. We get Blade 2. And guess who we meet in Blade 3? Oh, Deadpool himself. Ryan Reynolds makes an appearance in Blade 3. That was his introduction to Marvel, not
it was, yeah.
the Wolverine's origin story where they gave him the closed-mouth Deadpool that teleported that did not make any sense or did not match with any lore in any comic book history, point blank, period.
Yeah.
So Blade, Wesley Snipes is Daddy Marvel. Every Marvel movie we own. Now, I know there's a difference between Marvel and Marvel Studios, all right? Don't get those two complete. All right, Marvel Studios is Avengers. Marvel is the comic books. And Sony also owns aspects of Marvel, predominantly the Spider-Man characters, which is why Craven is going to be coming out this Friday. And I will be seeing it tomorrow night. Thank you very much. I'll report back at 0800 next week with the report of how well I liked it.
Well, what happened to the Blades? Like, the whole chat room is freaking out now that there was going to be a new Blade movie, and now it's not. What's going on with that?
Okay, so Mahershala Ali, who actually voiced Aaron Davis, the uncle of Miles Morales in the Into the Spider-Verse movies, was slated to be the upcoming Blade. He still is. I mean, but they've scrapped multiple directors. They've gone through multiple scripts. And so a lot of us are just like, nah. What we just learned this year is I heard that the Blade production has actually been put on hold completely. Like, it basically has been scrapped.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying.
I think that may be a good idea because I think that it was a mistake. As much as I love Mahershala Ali, I loved him in what was it, House of Cards, and
sure,
I think he was a Cottonmouth in Luke Cage. I love his acting, supreme actor, and I think that he's fit to handle the role of Blade. I frankly do, even though I don't think that he's no Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes can put his foot in your ear.
Am I correct in thinking that it would satisfy most of us if they or would it be considered watered down if they did a Blade movie with Wesley Snipes one more time and show me old Blade? Like, give me. Here's what I want. Sorry, I'm channeling something. I want what's the Wolverine movie? I want Logan, but with Wesley Snipes. That's what I want.
Okay. You want a swan song?
I want an old gritty Blade is at his wit's end, and he's got one more save in him.
Yeah.
And
he's mad. He's Make America Great Again.
Yeah. He is. He's like gone crazy like Kanye.
He's MAGA Blade.
MAGA Blade is what I want.
And modern day. Okay, look. I will see you that
beautiful Blade.
And I was going there too, Tom. Dan, I was going there as well. I want to see Blade, but I want to see Wesley Snipes involved in the project.
I agree.
I didn't think of Logan. That's an even better scenario. I was thinking more Days of Future Past, where we kind of combine the two. We're in the multiverse right now. Phase 5 is all about the multiverse.
We can do it.
So, I mean, you're bringing back Robert Downey Jr. There's reports that they're bringing back Chris Evans. I mean, they just brought back, Wesley Snipes. I mean, that's the perfect excuse. You brought back Hugh Jackman.
My God.
Why not bring back Wesley Snipes? It's a legit. He looked good in the outfit. Lost a little weight, but it ain't nothing.
My
you know
God, it's like
saying?
real radio. Let's bring them all back. Bring your Shannon Burgess, BK, sexy Savannah. Bring them all back.
Well, you know
Carlos.
Why not do a passing of the torch story where like Wesley Snipes teaches a new young Blade? Like, you could easily write in like there was another vampire that was half vampire, half human that Blade almost raises and then passes the torch, teaches them all. It's like it's kind of an easy script, and plus we'd get all of what we want, which is to see Wesley Snipes.
Give me that fan service, man.
If you do another Blade without Wesley Snipes, I feel like it's not going to be as good, and you could easily
It would be good,
him.
but you have to use Dave Blunt's. If you use Dave Blunt's for Blade, You will have the biggest
We're
opening.
just obsessed
Just
with
hear me
Dave
out.
Blunt's.
If you use Dave Blunt's for Blade, you will have the biggest opening weekend of your life.
I'd rather see him as a Tin Man, but that's okay.
What do we call him? What do we call him? What's his name?
I saw Dave Blunt's girlfriend.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
put him on
Isabella.
video.
I know. I follow her on
Yeah.
Instagram. Isabella is her name. Username, be respectful.
And then someone was
That's
like,
Dave Blunt's girlfriend. dog.
how is this possible? And then I agreed with that BDM who has
It's not
that
possible. She could get under there, sniff around a little bit. It's fine. You know, she ain't gonna be like getting pregnant. She ain't gonna be
Dave
getting.
Blunt's-
Yeah, she ain't
He
gonna.
can't put him on a motorbike, bro.
No.
He needs a trailer. He needs a whole
Yeah.
an RV. He can't go around.
He is not gonna look. He's not gonna have intercourse.
Okay, yeah.
That's
It's
not
impossible.
possible. It's
right?
impossible. And also, he's got a cup, and he can't. He's got a cup of lean, and he can't stop. So can we just relax on the guy a little bit?
He's doing lean?
That's his whole song. He sings. He's like, I got a cup of lean, and I can't stop.
Yeah.
I can't stop.
I wouldn't do anything.
I feel for the man. I want to be just like him, actually. I want to be little Danny Blunt, but I'm so fat.
Yo, I'm here for it. I think Dave could fit somewhere in the universe. I
Yeah.
don't know about Blade.
Purple's a strong choice for a big fat man. I always wondered why that, because your first thing, purple people leader. It's right there.
Vince, let's talk Craven because it's coming out,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, I saw it when I was at the movie theater to see Interstellar with my wife, the re-release of it.
Yeah, old people go see movies they've already seen.
about space.
They're re-releasing Wizard of Oz. Let's go see it.
it's freaking North by Northwest is coming up to the.
And then they had the whole Craven trailer, and I was like, Craven is stupid.
I don't like the name.
I don't like the name.
I don't like the Craven. Craven sounds like, what are you craving? What are you craving?
Yeah.
I'm craving chicken fingers. What are you craving? I'm craving sushi. What are you craving? I'm craving.
White Castle.
Yeah, I'm craving White Castle. I'm craving Chipotle.
And he looks
Sounds
like
stupid.
He looks like Chris Angel, and I don't like
Yeah.
my superheroes looking all like the Crow. I don't never
Yeah.
like the Crow.
I don't like crows.
Yeah.
Yo, all right. Well, let me put you down on Craven. Okay, let me first also start by saying I'm not a fan of Craven at all. All right, and when it was first announced that Craven was going to be on the Sony Marvel plot, I was like, why? Why are we doing this? Why do we keep taking these villains and trying to make them into superheroes? They're villains for a reason, right? And also, why the obscure characters? Why are we reaching so hard? I mean, yeah, Ant-Man's one thing. I get it. We weren't really looking for that, but he's a part of the Avengers, right? That's the tie-in,
Yeah.
okay? All right, yeah, we weren't necessarily looking for Black Widow or Hawkeye, but they're Avengers. That's the tie-in. Craven's just Craven. So when I saw their announcement, I'm like, why are we doing this? Why?
Is he a jungle animal man? Is that what he is, Craven?
He's Mowgli with a knife. He's in the Jungle Book. So, but then I saw them change the rating from PG-13 to R. Now I was like,
Uh-oh, now he's craving butt. I know what he's craving. I'm craving some butt, dog. I'm sorry, Vin. I'm so stupid. I hate the name. I hate that. I'm glad to hear you say that because I know that
It's
our
not
humor.
good.
I know that our humor is the same, and I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
when you're thinking the same thing. What's he
Yeah.
craving? You're craving butt, aren't you? I didn't know he was. Plug some stuff because we got to get out of here, man.
Well, no, rated R Craven.
oh my God, I'm crying. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, needless to say, we got to go. But Craven, ever since the announcement, I've completely gone a 180 on it, and I'm
Nice.
actually looking forward to it because
Good.
any movie that has Marvel characters from a comic book and they actually are as violent as the comics, because that's the part I get annoyed with. You're taking the comics in which you're seeing bones being snapped, pow, blood, and then you're putting them in these PG-13 movies where you don't see any of that. No, we want to see a grittier version of what we see in the pages. So that's what I think Craven represents. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Russell Crowe's back. I mean, he was just the god of lightning, Zeus, in Thor. So now he's back in Marvel, but this is Sony. So what not to like? So I'm gonna check it out. I have good feelings about it because there's no bar for it. We have no expectations of it. But it was just announced that this will be the last of the villain installments from Sony. So
Well,
There you go.
Russell Crowe is Craven mozzarella sticks. he is a fat son.
But I like him. You know what? But he is one of the few men that I like fatter.
I like fat
I don't
Crow.
like him skinny. He doesn't look right.
You like thick crow?
I
That's
like
your
I
thing?
like a thick crow. Yeah, totally, man.
So Vince,
Okay.
let's plug your merch. New
man.
Blurred Order podcast. Vince is wearing a shirt that you could purchase.
There
Where
you
can you
go.
buy it at?
Yeah, for all y'all out there that are unapologetically black and unapologetically nerdy like myself, you can go to newblurredorder.com and the shirts are there on sale, as well as some other outfits and some other shirts. But mainly just if you're not doing nothing, when you're not listening to Tom and Dan, pull on up to the YouTube site. We're at New Blurred Order on the YouTubes and the Twitches and the Instagrams and all of that. And just like and comment every now and then and just engage.
That would be a good gift.
T&D.
That'd be a good gift for your nerdy black friend. You
Hold
go,
on. Well, what
and it would
about a white
show-
guy like me? Can I wear it, or
No.
is that like FUBU?
No, that's stolen valor. That's stolen valor. You
Is it
can't-
like FUBU?
For you, I've got a bottle of ranch dressing.
Someone gave my son Tommy a ranch dressing Christmas ornament.
Oh, that's awesome for Ranch Boy.
I'm like, oh God, he's ranch boy. That's cool.
It's actually pretty cool. I think.
That's a
Yo, where's the Christmas party? Y'all ain't having no Christmas party?
Man, we don't have no Christmas parties. You saw all our employees quit. If we'd
Just me and Daniel.
yeah, if we'd had a Christmas party, they'd have stayed. But we didn't do that. There's one thing we don't believe in here, and it's Christmas parties and bonuses. We don't
Oh my
believe.
God. Okay, I'm in the right place.
No, we don't believe in any of that. We don't believe in that. If there's any bonuses, it's going to me, and it's going to him.
Yeah.
Because the amount of stress that it takes to do this thing, my
Oh,
God.
yeah, I can see it. It's wearing on you.
Well, I mean, look at me. I've decided I'm never cutting my hair or my beard ever again. I'm not.
That's
Wow.
yeah,
I'm not doing it.
White people eventually
Yeah.
get to that point.
Craving death.
They're full bum.
I'm going full bum. All right, buddy. Well, we love you. Hey,
guys.
happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and everything to
as
you
well.
and your family, man. Thanks for being, truly, thank you for being a part of our show. I know our listeners love you, and the fact that you are so open to us and allow us this time, because it's a lot of time. And we just, this year, man, I'm so thankful for all of the people that are in our universe and help our show look great. So thank you, man. We really appreciate you.
Yay!
That's the correct answer.
That's how Vince got the goods.
Yeah, that's the correct answer.
Yeah. Me and Vince.
Thanks, Dad. I really enjoyed this time, so let's do it even more in 2025.
All right,
Let's do
buddy. Have a good holiday and Happy New Year.
Y'all take care, y'all.
See you,
See ya.
man. That is Vince Taylor.
He's
Love that
awesome.
guy. Yeah, he's a good dude. Man, they go hard on EJ when Vince is on. Oh, man, they're mean
Oh,
to
yeah,
EJ.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is the best nerd jock I've ever heard. Who's that handsome man? I'm like, oh, my Lord. Why are you doing that?
Well, that's
man?
why we do it, so you can
It is-
compare.
It's the exact opposite. It's
Yeah.
like, it literally, we have fat white guy that gets everything wrong, and then we have a good-looking black guy that gets everything right.
Yeah. This is the ultimate bully. You understand, right? This is why we do it. Anyway, all right. We will see you on Monday.
And that's Friday, right?
Yeah, that's Friday.
All right, good job. Hey, babe.
Hi.
Are you enjoying
All right.
the pinball?
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, I don't know if this is too loud.
No.
fine. We don't
You
care.
can come in, Andrew.
Come
And we'll just do the segment. We'll just leave it on
Yeah, we'll just keep
because I realized I was like at first I thought that
What
these.
date is that? That is the
Hold on, let me see.
13th. I got it.
Friday the 13th.
It is. How are you?
Fine.
How's your day going?
Pretty good. Rainy. We're going to force our child to walk home in the rain.
Are you?
Well, yeah, because I'm not there to go hold an umbrella over her.
So she has to. Well, she has an umbrella.
She has an umbrella.
Yeah,
but
she'll be
I'm
fine.
just not there to, like...
No, she's got an umbrella.
Follow
She's
her.
fine. She's fine. She'd probably be pissed if you went and did it.
Right.
I'm not an umbrella.
But we already...
Oh, hold on. Let me turn you on. We get a lot of that, don't we?
We had already talked about like, hey, I gotta go do Daddy Show. Why you gotta do Daddy Show? Why you gotta do that again? You just did Daddy Show. Right. So.
They need a more wide variety of guests.
Why you?
We just listened to that. I'm canceling my BDM membership. That's what Maisie said. Maisie said, I'm canceling my membership.
Mason's like, you can't get better than
Yeah,
what
she's like,
I gave.
This is the same old shit. I talked to Tommy and Max. They're canceling their membership. So I was like, what? All right, hold on. ACT Friday.
I wasn't doing too good at pinball.
Yeah, you got to warm up.
I gotta warm
to
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit this afternoon, too.
TC, do you play that, or is it too
That's
fun
for babies.
for
You
you?
don't play that.
Is
I
it
haven't
too
played
fun?
it one time. Which, haven't even pushed the one button. I think about it every time I walk by. I'm like, after I finish my work.
Resist.
Oh
Yeah,
my
like-
God, have a little fun, baby.
No, straight
I
Scrooge.
see a lot of all the like high point champions have changed. Like, who are all these people
No,
that have been playing?
I'm in there.
No, you are in there. I'm still in there for 4 loops, but I'm still in there
Oh,
for
we
a
have
loop
guests.
total champion.
Well, we've got $100 in there, and
Yeah.
the person with the highest score at the end of
Wins
this
$100.
run will get the cash.
Where is the $100?
So it's in the,
It's in the machine.
where the coins
Oh.
go. We have the key hidden.
What? No, it's
The keys-
hanging out of the
He's hanging out of it right
Oh,
now.
great place, great hiding place. Huh? I hid the key.
Well, I had
But
it near a goddamn protein
there's-
bar.
You know, this is what we were talking about earlier. We were doing this thing that nobody saw, but we were talking about the warm-ups, and this is part of
Right.
the warm-up.
Well,
this is all good stuff.
There's
dude.
several champions, so, like scores. So
Yeah.
what does it have to be? So who are you giving the $100 to?
to the one.
The
I
grand
guess,
champion, which is me.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Well-
how do you know who it is?
It's me. It says my name on the fucking machine.
Well, they're
know, there's-
the guests that come in. They'll put their name in if they actually.
Right, but they'll
This
never
is-
beat me.
Yeah.
Because I cannot be
This
beat.
is
I'm the
too
grand
fucking-
champion.
This
all right.
is too fun.
We're going to talk about. I have 2 things.
Okay.
We're going to walk through your jobs.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah. We'll talk retail.
Yeah.
Oh.
I used to work
Or the other
retail.
thing, and I forgot about that. This was your idea. Or you could have her freestyle on some of the things you want help with in organizing.
No, okay. Yeah,
But that's
how
a
to be more
freestyle.
organized.
That's a freestyle.
Yeah.
And then the last one is I did want to walk through how I believe that our encounter at Latitudes, if that never happened, we would have never gotten married.
If I had never passed out.
Yep.
Oh.
I believe that. I can make a case for it.
All right.
Okay, I would like to hear that.
All right. Would you like to start?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. And this is it for the end of the day?
Yep,
That's
that's
it. That's
Your
pretty
voice
good.
sounds good.
It's holding up, but it does feel
We did
weird.
record a lot because we did our best of
Yeah, you're a
recording.
freaking slave driver
No,
over
we
here.
got-
Oh
no,
yeah,
no,
Dan
no.
is the high score.
We got everything. No, I feel so. You don't even know. My anxiety is low today. We got ACT best of the week. We got the AMT best
Oh
of
my
the
God, who are you?
We got so much shit done today. Okay.
Yeah, we're prepared more.
Oh, I'm high score number 4.
That's pretty good. I think Ross is number 3. All right, here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. If you like watching podcasts, we would urge you to head over to either twitch.com/TomandDanLive or youtube.com/TomandDan and just like and subscribe our podcast because we have a video component. We're live Monday through Friday from right around 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it's really fun. You can watch. Chat room's great. There are great people in there. You can talk to them and you can find out basically all the behind the scenes stuff before anybody else does because you get that behind the scenes feed.
And I never plug our socials, Tom and Dan Live on
Everywhere.
Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitch.
TikTok, at Tom and Dan Live. TikTok has great videos by Melissa. Instagram Reels, if you like funny stuff. There are thousands of videos and little shorts and cartoons and
Our personal Instagrams, Daniel's Mediocre Dan, I'm Mediocre Tom
Yep.
on Instagram. We post on there as well.
We do
so you
indeed.
can follow us on that. And in
if you
studio,
want to see how fat and gray I am, you can head on over to at Mediocre Dad.
well, in studio with us is Daniel's wife, Andrea Dennis. How you doing, Andrea?
Here again, much to my
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, that was an answer. That was an answer, right? How are you doing?
Why are you there
I'm
again?
here again. That's what Maisie said.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't that what Maisie
am I your default? Like, oh man, we forgot to schedule somebody.
No. We're just, you
See
know.
if she's available.
We did a single crystal show yesterday.
Yeah, we're pre-recording some shows when we're on vacation, so we were just kind of moving around guests everywhere. So you fell into the rotation. We don't have that many guests
No, we don't have that many friends.
to pick from. You know,
Yeah.
like there's probably
Well, there are many, but like some of them we have in, and we're like, ooh,
you know,
can't do that again.
and some never showed
Yeah.
up again. We
That's
lost track
true.
of.
Yeah, Business Baby, Kristrima.
yeah,
You know what?
yeah.
Like, I'll be honest about the Kristrima one, and I think even if she heard this, I wouldn't be offensive. She sobered up and realized the show was not for her. I'm not kidding. Dude, she told us.
Well, she was on the show after she quit drinking, and she told us.
No. That was early on. That's called the pink clouds.
Okay.
I know about this in therapy. You go through this area of pink clouds but then once she got to the real sobriety.
Oh, then she's like, I'm done.
She's like, I'm done with it. I'm never calling into that again. But yes, my wife is, hey, wife, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Do you prefer, Tom and I talk about this all the time, do you prefer to be called wife or Andrea?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, see,
I've-
that's the right answer, but I think to Crystal it does matter.
I've thought about
Why?
this before.
Because she prefers to be called Crystal, right?
Well, okay. We should just use your first name because the people that listen to the show know you by first name. All right. But I'm old school radio.
Oh, you're right.
Where
Oh,
I
you're
got
right.
so used to saying my wife, Crystal, because
It's like me resetting the topic.
Yes.
Why do I do that?
it's old school radio. It's like it's left over from what we were learning in broadcasting, which
You guys
is
are so old now.
Yeah, we are. Man,
Well,
I feel it.
It's like you need to explain to the you can't just say Andrea because people are like, what if there's a new listener? They're like, who's Andrea? And you're like, my wife Andrea, and that's it. I got so used to saying
Well,
my wife Crystal.
At least this is a podcast so they could go back. And
Yeah. It doesn't make
figure
any
it out.
sense. I'm just saying it's
You
it's left
used
over
to get
from
on
old-
me about that more. Did you just give up at some point and be like, God, this is dumb old man. Like, he can't.
No,
Because you used to tell me, like, why are you giving out the number? Why are you doing that? And we don't really do that anymore. You just kind of let me do it.
Well, you also don't want to talk to people on the phone.
Well, it's like telling a baseball player, like, why are you tapping your hand and your feet all the, it's like their process.
Right.
You know,
It's like the superstition. It's what I do. Yeah.
And so you doing this is part of the process of even talking. So
True.
if you stop doing that, then it kind of throws that off. Like, why
True.
throw it off?
Have you
It's a
noticed-
tiny nothing, really.
Have you noticed that you and I like have a certain way we do things almost every single morning that's almost exactly the same? Like in here, it's weird.
Well, even when we intro, we say our names, like, I'm Tom, I'm Dan. Like, we don't need to do that, but it's part of the process.
I'm not doing it anymore.
No, it's like they know who we are, but it's the baseball player putting tar on his helmet or like,
Right.
or tapping his bottom of his cleats. He's just part of what he does every time he goes to bat.
Yeah.
So he has to just keep doing it. Because he's an old
I have to.
superstitious baseball
I am
player.
very superstitious, like especially in
Sure.
baseball.
Andrea, back to you.
Yes.
Let's talk.
We have a series of questions here. We're going to grill you. welcome to the grill zone.
Okay, I'm here.
Daniel mentioned about and this is some advice that I feel like everybody could benefit from, and even our kids could benefit from this. And I've seen people do it with houses, and I've seen them work their way up
You're talking
to
about
mansions.
Jimmy. You're talking about our friend Jim Colbert.
Where you buy and sell houses and you live in them for a couple years. By the way, a couple years, you don't have to pay capital gains tax on the, you just
100%.
dump it into the next house. And if you keep moving up, I mean, so you've kind of done this with jobs your whole life, where you've kind of gone from one job to another and just moved the way up. Not in the same company, but
I think
in
you're
different
very
companies.
much a never enough type of person,
Well,
right?
for a person who I superly hate change, and I know superly is probably not the right word, but
No, I think it's accurate in this.
I do not like change, but my grandfather, who is still alive, he is 101.
That is insane. Your grandfather, I need to meet that
I
man.
don't even know if we can. You've met him once, but I don't. Man, we should really get him in here.
You guys would probably have to go to him.
Yeah,
we
he's-
could. We
Well,
should.
recently he's fallen a couple times. If you want to go like first of the year, because I think he's doing pretty good.
He's still, pretty
Yeah, he's
pretty
very
good, but,
active.
I just
Beautiful
like-
girlfriend. His girlfriend is like supermodel.
I'd love to have a conversation with a
He'd do it.
101-year-old man
I think he'd do
that
it.
knows more about technology than me and is still active.
Yep.
I mean,
he
that
really
still lives
knows,
on his own.
But he
and-
really knows a lot about Florida. That's where he really
Yeah.
excels, is that he's a Florida man through and through, and not like Florida man headlines. He's more of a preserve an Indian burial
Florida
ground.
cracker.
Make sure that this shell mount isn't destroyed by rapscallions. Let's make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
that this trail that's been here for hundreds of years is preserved and
cleaned
well
up-
marked.
He cleaned up a grave site in the Ocala National Forest. Like, he had to walk like a mile and a half just to like get to it, but he like
He'd bring tools out
he
there
just
and
cleaned it up
he
because
would
he
like
just didn't he
clean
wanted it to
around
be preserved.
each of the stone.
So WUCF did a whole like
Yeah.
that's insane.
there are all these stone.
and he was like 100 when he did that.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
Anderson is 90s.
99, maybe.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's insane.
But yeah, so he gave me advice.
Like I can't even take the garbage out. Right? Let's go through a few things. Like I can't even.
Does it bother your husband is weaker than your grandfather?
Oh my God. He can beat me up right now.
The other day you said.
I'd like to see that.
Oh my God, you fall off a bike. If you land on top of me, I'm dead.
The other day I went out and you were like, "Oh, I'll clean up the kitchen." I came back.
I forget the
Still in the
intention,
same
but what was my intent?
split.
You're an intent guy. You're an intent man.
Yeah. He said he was going
But
to.
then you saw me cleaning up the kitchen and then it didn't like register with
It
you.
registered.
Like,
I was
No,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah, well, I don't need to do it now.
Excellent.
Anyway, so he gave me advice like back in the day, something of the lines of like, change jobs when you feel like you are bettering yourself.
Like when you need to grow more.
Yeah,
Almost.
and so that I took that to heart like early, and like my first job, I was in college and I worked for Target.
Yeah.
And I had never had a job. I'd never had like a retail job or anything. And so I worked there and then made some just connections with some of the managers that were there. And they always wanted me in their section because I did a good job. I didn't know how to
That's
do
not what I
anything
heard.
less.
I heard it was a lot of the old,
Come on.
Can I make that motion on the? I did it low.
Yeah.
And so then they called me. Some of the managers moved over to Old Navy and they called me and they said, "Hey, do you want to come work at Old Navy? We'll give you more money." And as a college
and then the
student,
other managers, they're trying to snipe you away from it. They're trying to. They're
hey,
like
that's
a,
it's
that's a
flattering.
mutiny. That's a textiles mutiny.
We want the BJ girl. Sorry. I only said it because your husband said it. He started
technically,
it.
I didn't say it. I just made the motion.
No,
for it.
sorry.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So so they called me and so and said, "Hey, come over here. We'll pay you more money." They worked around my college schedule.
And that's peak Old Navy. And what I mean by that is we're talking, who's that blonde lady? Fairchild. Morgan Fairchild was in the commercials, and they had that dog.
The fleece.
What was the dog?
Performance
Fleece. And what's his name? Buddy?
I don't remember.
Or what was the name of the Old Navy dog? That's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah, it was, height early 2000s, so probably like 2000.
And this is where I learned. It blew my mind the Old Navy was part of Gap, which was part of
Banana Republic.
I didn't realize that all three of those companies were the same deal.
I think I knew you when you worked at Old Navy.
I worked. So my schedule. I would work at the radio station. I would have to get at the radio station at 4 a.m. I would work the radio station. I did Magic 107.7. Then I would go to school, and then I would do Old Navy at night.
Not very much.
So the
That's a joke. That's a joke.
I would
She's
be leaving
always-
to the radio station, and kids were coming back in from like partying all night.
Yeah,
They'd be like, "Bye."
Yeah, like it was weird because when I met you and we wanted to date, it was kind of hard to hang out because you were very like she's.
Well, because they
she
would schedule
maximizes.
me a lot.
I mean, when I compare her to you, I compare you guys a lot. There are aligning logical characteristics that you both have, and certainly a lot of differences. I would say Tom's BJ's are better, but I think that
I do slap happy.
He does. He likes that.
Not everybody knows what that is,
I
but
like that.
I'll let you slap
And
happy me.
I like spit play. So he likes to stay busy. You are exactly the same way.
Right,
You like to
it's
stay.
like,
you like to get your stuff. You going.
Right. My problem in general is like my list in my head. I just want to get it done so then I can sit and like enjoy, but the list is never done.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, because you keep adding to it.
That's also my fault because I could help the list a little bit, but I'm like, I don't know.
And allow me to like sit and read a book. But.
So was that your first experience of like, oh, this other company will offer me more money, and I'm gonna just follow the money?
Yeah. So I worked with Old Navy, and I graduated college with my degree in communications. And I had to kind of make a choice because I wasn't getting like scholarship money or anymore. And so Daniel, we were together.
This is my favorite thing is that like one of the greatest things that you'll find if you ever enter a relationship with me is that I'm very good at real talk you and I'm gonna real talk your dreams. I'm gonna real talk your dreams.
Yeah, I love doing that. I convinced Crystal not to go to college, and she still hates me to this day. And then every time. And I'm like,
Yes,
yes.
this is what
kinda
you're about
like
to hear why we are business partners, because we both like to control women.
So after four years of going to school, focusing in communications and radio and TV broadcasting, I graduated in May of 2006. And
The Old Navy's dog was Magic, by the way.
I should have known that.
Yeah, I should have known.
Daniel sat me down because I had to decide, like, is the radio station still going to just pay me $10 an hour?
Well,
like, is
no,
that
from
what
what
I'm
I
gonna-
understand, and hopefully I'm allowed to talk about this. From what I understand, there was another lady that had been brought in that was doing like a scheduling job or something. It was an older lady. Do you remember this? And
I took her job.
And you did take her job,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So you took her job.
Right.
But they didn't they not give you what she was getting, the
Right,
money?
yeah,
So
so-
they had a lady.
Oh, they love doing that.
This is classic radio.
Right,
so they
yeah,
had
yeah.
a lady, like an older lady, like in her late 30s.
They
or
saw that I
40s.
could do what she was
Exactly,
doing.
and this lady was like had the binder and dressed in like pantsuits and stuff, and it was like a real producer thing. And then they realized that they could get the young girl who does it better, more energetic, faster, with a younger vibe, which they needed on the radio station, right? You're always looking for younger, and they slid you in, and maybe I'm remembering that wrong, but I remember there was a little bit of bitterness, or the beginning of the bitterness, because they didn't set you up the way they set that lady up. They got
Right.
rid of the lady, and then they slide Andrea in, and they go, you get all of this lady's work, but you get none of her money.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is radio, guys.
Right.
After-
100% that is radio.
And-
After 20 years, you'll get her money, but then we're going to slide a new one in.
right.
That's our business model.
So-
it kind of is.
I kind
Right.
of respect that.
And by the way, not just radio, that is a lot
The
of
corporate-
business models.
So I
That's
had a
corporate.
choice. So the radio station, that was their offer. And then Old Navy was like, hey, we can make you a manager, but you have to go out to the West Oaks Mall.
Yeah.
So if you don't live here and you don't know what the West Oaks Mall is, the West Oaks Mall used to actually be a really decent mall. It was like a
God,
more
you said
happening-
really, and the best we got was decent?
I mean, it was a decent mall.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And so I had to make a choice. I was graduated college. I needed money. And so I gave up, Daniel and I talked about it, and I gave up my dream to be on the radio. And I said, thank you.
I don't think you and I have ever really talked about that in length on the show, but
No.
do you remember that day? And I'm not trying to dig up sad feelings, because obviously you're far more successful in the paths that you're going
Yeah.
now than you ever would have been. I shouldn't
I
say that.
miss-
That's kind of rude.
I'm-
But I'm just saying you would have never been as successful because of them, not you. You know what I mean?
Right. I think I came into radio probably 5 or 10 years too late. The heyday of radio was waning
Yeah, so
when
you-
I
so you
graduated. in,
married
like,
the heyday of
2006.
radio.
We're still on radio.
Well, no, like I mean,
We gotta
This
tread
is on
lightly.
radio
we,
right
gotta,
now.
we have to tread lightly
no,
here.
I wasn't. No, not talk
I'm
radio.
joking. I'm
I was like, wanted to do music radio.
Yeah.
Everything then was becoming syndicated. So, do I move to Podunk, Minnesota, and do 5 stations out of my little apartment in Podunk, Minnesota?
Yeah, right.
Or do I, I have this relationship with this guy that I think is going to go somewhere? Do I take the money and go to retail, even though I'm like,
What did you think of my
Gosh,
advice I was giving you? Because you had listened to the monsters, you knew of
Right.
like real radio and everything. Did you? And you can.
it was a hard pill to swallow.
But answer honestly, like when I told you that, were you just kind of like, "What the hell is?" I don't know
No,
what the
I
hell.
think you had my best interest in, but it was like a hard pill for me to swallow because that was what I wanted to do since I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
I had wanted to be.
We had very similar dreams,
on
and
the
I think that's one of the
radio.
reasons why we're married. I don't even think I've ever articulated that on the show. But one of the weird things about Andrea and I is we love the idea of the DJ presenting the new song that you've never heard.
I
whether
saw.
it
I
be
have tapes of myself when I was younger.
when I was DJing. Yeah,
making
Me
radio.
too. Me too. I would I would pretend to be a DJ and present like songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we had an intense love of music and a lot of the same bands, namely like bands like Faith No More and these alternative
Mm-hmm.
bands, Deftones and stuff like that. So it was weird. Yeah, I can remember that fairly vividly, and I remember you being very upset.
Yeah, and I wasn't upset with Daniel, but it was like he was presenting the facts.
Oh, they want
to
your
me.
DJ voice, and I know you have one. Can you give them a Sunshine Report?
Oh,
She used to do. Do you know that Andrea used to do the
They
Sunshine
used to
Report?
play.
What is that?
James Taylor. Here comes
Hold on.
the
Is that what
sun.
you
Or
need?
no, it's the Beatles, right?
Yeah, that's the Beatles.
And,
Beatles,
and,
not
and
James
for
Taylor.
those of you who don't know, Magic
107.7.
It used
107.
to, like, we used to not be able to play like Brick House because people would lose their mind. If you played the song Brick House, that was too racy for Magic 107.7.
They're saying that her ass is built out of brick.
we got so much hate when we had Bob Saget on, and then people went to his show, and he is not like Danny Tanner like back in the day.
Oh, he's filthy man.
He
was a filthy man.
It was like a big deal.
Here, give me a sunshine report.
So they would play this song, and I have to like open the curtains, and I'd be like, "Good morning, Magic listeners. Today looks like a great day. Go out and enjoy it."
You
Or,
should do that for our show. That's how I was like,
give us a couple sunshine reports?
huh?
Will you give us a couple?
If that's what you want to.
I already brokered
liners.
a deal with nationally touring comedian Bob Zaney. On January 7th, he will be delivering his very own monthly Zany report on Tom and Dan.
I want them like that, but dirty. Because that's where the money's at. Hey, Tom. And that, anyway. So,
that's
so
hilarious.
I went out to the West Oaks Mall.
God damn, the old Sunshine Report.
That was an interesting vibe out there. I had physical fights in my store.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I had you tell somebody there was just fights and guns, and it's where two.
They shut them all down a
Rough-
lot.
for those who don't know, this is a predominantly Asian type neighborhood. Not joking.
It's where two predominant gangs would meet up and have fights, and
they shut the mall down.
They would shut the
call
mall
me.
down.
They'd be like, the mall shut down.
And I'm this like 21-year-old, woman trying to be the manager of this store. I had poop smeared on clothes.
Oh, yeah. Dude, she would come home.
Smooth the poops.
You have no idea, Tom. Tom,
in the boys section, because it was right outside of the bathroom.
People would like crap in their hand. I'm gonna tread lightly. They'd crap in their hand, and it'd be, it's not solid. And then they would just take it like you're high-fiving all the shirts and just go down the shirts with a poop hand.
Well, it's funny in retail, because I used to work at Champ Sports with Vince Taylor.
Shout out to Vince Taylor.
When you worked your way up to a manager, West Oaks was the first position you could think of. Like, you could be a manager now, West Oaks. It was like
you can survive West Oaks.
Yeah, you got to cut your teeth in Vietnam.
It was like a boot camp for managers,
Right,
and they'd send the new managers to West Oaks.
Right. But then that's when Gap Incorporated underwent a big change. So I think I was there maybe a year. They went a big change, and they let go any last managers that were promoted, and they kind of they gave other managers that job, and so I was cut out of that. So
was this the one that, because you were the youngest?
Well, because I was the last manager to be promoted within the region, so they let say the last 5.
Also, I think it's important because I think a lot of people think that she's just maybe you are very tough. Don't get me wrong, but I think that people think that these things happen. You're like, oh well, I just got that was very. I remember how upset you were.
Yeah, they gave me a 6 month or 6 weeks, 12-week severance, but I couldn't enjoy myself. I was so distraught by the fact that I didn't have a job. What am I going to do? I'm right out of college. My internships were in radio. I gave that up for this job, and now they're letting me go.
And you were pretty crushed about the manager thing because you had worked hard to get to that position.
Right.
You're taking on more responsibility. And how long did you have it before they cut?
I think it was probably about a year.
It seemed quick though. I remember.
Did you like retail?
No, I didn't. I didn't like it. I didn't like the hours, but still, it's a crush to your well, what am I going to do now? I need to find myself a job because how am I going to support
It doesn't matter
myself?
What anyone says. If any job I have, if something happens and I'm asked to not do it, whether it's my fault or not, I'm going to take some responsibility of that and think it's my fault.
Yeah.
No one will ever change that.
And you're also you're like you said, what are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
did you think at all okay, I tried the retail thing. Maybe I'll go back to radio. Maybe I'll go back to something in my degree, which is communication.
Yeah, I mean, I reached out to people that I knew and was trying to make connections. And funnily enough, one of the HR managers that had to let me go at Old Navy, her husband was also an HR manager, and he had just been hired by a new company coming into the state of Florida, IKEA.
I remember.
Yeah, this is a big one. Now, this is where you and I, and I'm going to tell this part, but we hit a bit of an impasse with IKEA. You and I.
So
we'll get there.
Was it when IKEA first? Because it was funny. Is like I thought IKEA had been there for a way longer.
So IKEA has been around for a really long time, but they put a store in Sunrise, Florida. That was the first store in Florida. They opened that one, and then Orlando was the second one. So in November of 2007, that's when they opened the store. But I was brought on, I would say 6 months before they opened the store. We were like at a satellite office getting the store ready, helping hire. So I was brought on as a retail manager in like the rugs,
opening,
and
okay.
yeah. Because I had that clothing background, they brought me like where the curtains are, where the rugs. I did that.
Textiles, yeah,
I really
that.
wanted to do the communications part of it, like the marketing person, because each store has their own marketing person. But because I didn't have the, I was
Marketing
still right out
background,
of college. So I went on. I was like, okay, sure, fine. And then so we opened the store. I got to go travel around with IKEA to go see different stores.
How's IKEA as a company? Because they do some weird. There's some weird
There's
things,
some weird
like some
stuff,
weird
yeah.
European things that we're not used to, right?
They got a lot of manifestos.
There's-
You'll get a
I
handbook.
still actually have the
Yeah.
handbook because
I
it's
like the
really
handbook.
interesting. So Ingvar,
The handbook reads like very old European ways.
it's called
If you
the
know
furniture.
if you're picking up what I'm laying
It's
down.
called the Furniture Dealer's Testament. So Ingvar Kamprad, who it was the he's passed away now.
Say
who
it the way it's
started-
supposed to be said.
What?
Ingvar Kamprad. You say
He
the
wrote-
proper way.
He wrote it, and you go through this thing. IKEA as a company, a Swedish company, when I was with them.
Oh my
were
God!
a
The
really
chat room
good
just called the
company.
book "Mine Couch." Damn, Melissa, that's funny.
I really liked them. I mean,
Yeah, it was a good company.
$3, you could have a meal. As an employee, you got discounts. And I
Socialist.
really worked with some really good people that I still talk to. Some of the people that I hired now live in Sweden and work for the
Okay,
company
now you
in
thought
Sweden.
and you knew, right, that I had hitched my wagon to IKEA because she was rapidly, and I mean rapidly, excelling in IKEA. And
Moving up the ladder.
Right. Yeah, so I started
and little Danny Meal Ticket. I looked over at it and I'm like, I could be living in Sweden in a couple of years.
I mean,
I'll be living in a goddamn igloo. I have all the pee dogs.
I would have no idea what.
retail pays really
Igloo.
well. I think it's people don't understand. Retail pays really, really good.
Yeah, she was
And-
getting like she got to a point
Well,
with
when you're
IKEA.
like general manager.
No, but she got to a point
No,
with IKEA
for
where
a
she was
department
making
manager, I was
as
making
more than I was making at the radio station.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's not
They-
the retail I know.
Dude, they were
Champ
they-
Sports doesn't
Dude,
pay that.
they were emptying the bank account, and then the parties they would throw. We would go to these like
Yeah.
crazy.
one year they gave every employee, which was like 350 employees, a bike.
like a badass,
Really?
like a $2,000,
Yeah.
like an awesome bike.
One year they gave a soda stream.
Yeah,
they
like a
gave-
nice soda stream, like a metal big ass soda stream.
Do you think that was just because they were starting in a new area
No,
and they wanted to?
across the
They still
company.
do that? Like
I don't know if they still do.
What about your one guy? I don't want to say people's name. Starts with an S.
Yes. So my
This
direct
guy
manager.
is what Andrew was kind of following his path, and
So-
this guy was straight destroying. I've
He was
never seen
young.
somebody do this.
So you can probably look him up now because I'm going to say what he did. He moved up from he started in a Virginia store, came down and helped do Orlando. He is now over IKEA Canada.
Like
he
he's
is the full guy
the whole
of
country of
IKEA
Canada. He's the dude.
Yeah.
And that
So-
was somebody that you worked with.
He was my
daily.
direct manager. I still.
He's a good dude.
His wife worked for the company as well. I'm still in touch.
So
with
he's
them.
making bank.
Oh,
I
tons.
probably can't even imagine.
How many
more.
stores are in?
I don't know how many stores are in Canada, but
lot.
I mean, yeah, just the growth of IKEA.
So you and I mean, not to get into our personal business, but I think people will want to hear a bit of this. There was a little bit of tension because I think creatively at that store, it just wasn't. You needed.
No.
You hadn't found what you.
No,
were
I still really
enjoying.
wanted to go do communications.
But I think- I enjoyed the money. Oh man, the money.
The
So
marketing
much money.
person actually went out on maternity leave twice, like back to back. She kind of like had kids like Crystal did, so I was slotted.
Maternity leave. That sounds European.
Yeah, yeah.
And she got a long time, and so I slotted into her position because they knew they were giving me a trial basis as the marketing person. But you're still working those retail hours, and you're still like
Christmas is
putting in
brutal.
those long. Yeah, IKEA
Christmas
doesn't do
was-
crazy
I
sales,
never saw her.
but yeah.
Like it would be like,
Yeah, yeah.
like
But you just have the influx of people, and so.
and also a lot more poo-poo. Like any retail store, I think has poo-poo.
Yeah.
Every,
So,
all
yeah,
of them.
A lot of working on Christmas and poo-poo.
Right, yeah. So I found a friend who worked in a PR firm, and she's like, "Hey, come work
Yeah.
with me for this PR firm."
And this is what I call we got to figure this out. Like I got to find the thing.
Right, but I had to have a sit down with Daniel. I had to take a pay cut to go to this PR firm and kind of start over.
Oh, he told me he was bitching to me every day.
Because you were making more money than me.
yeah.
Like
Right.
you were, she
And-
was
but I
making
had
more money
to-
than me, which is, by the way, any man that thinks, I don't want my wife making more money than me.
Yeah.
You're the dumbest fool ever.
Yeah.
I almost cursed. You are the stupidest MF. I want my wife to make 9 times what I make.
Yeah,
100 times what I
It's
make.
your money.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, they're making it. The pile is the
God
same.
almighty, you idiots.
Yeah, but for my like own mental health, not that we talked about mental health back then, but I was like, I have to get out of this retail world. If I don't cut the cord now, I'm gonna be this person that like my whole life is retail.
Yeah.
That's what you do reach up. Crystal kind of was
Yes.
because she worked for Foot Locker for so many times, and
Right.
for so many years.
I bet
You get
she's-
stuck.
Dude,
And
shoe stores see doo-doo all the time.
And
Come on.
she saw the lifers, and she's like, if I make that next move to manager and like general manager, I'm a lifer, and I
Right.
don't want to be this for the rest of my life. And then
Right.
so she's like, I have to leave now. And I was just like, God, just become a manager. And she's like, I see it as like a prison. Once you step in,
No.
it's like
Yeah.
the money's too good to leave. And then
Right.
you,
And if
then-
you have kids, like you
Oh, we-
can't
dude,
take
we were
that.
there.
Like
Yeah.
you can't take that pay
So you could make an
cut and-
argument that you
Yeah.
could make an argument that if we had a completely dysfunctional and horrible relationship, I would have leaned on you so hard and begged you to stay there, and we probably, I don't know if our marriage would have lasted or you'd be
Right.
miserable
Well,
or,
you know, you're
or whatever. But I mean,
to grow in IKEA, you have to go to different
Yeah.
stores. Like I have friends in Tampa. Some of them
Yeah.
have gone back to California. You have to move up in the company, but you have to be willing to move. And we weren't going to move with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because they're like, okay, you're the manager of Clearwater, and you're like, well, I live in Orlando. Well, like, do you want to be
you
a
don't
manager?
know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know.
We had friends
Yeah.
that say, we need you in Amsterdam.
Yeah. It's true.
Well,
it's
that's
travel.
what we were
It's
talking
travel
about
travel.
earlier, right? And they were in a position as a family where I think they could go, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, had we been in a position to do that, there is a little fantasy part of me that thinks, had it not been retail, but the
Right.
way that they treated you and the amount of money that you were making, and had we been able to go to Europe and live, that's not bad. That would have been
Right.
pretty fun. That would have been a cool. That would have been an interesting path for us to
Correct.
forge.
Yeah.
So you take a pay cut. You start in this PR firm,
Right.
And
And so I'm on the other side of like the radio and TV business. I'm on the PR side trying to like get radio and TV people to have my clients come on. And I realized very quickly I did not like that kind of work. I did not like cold calling people and saying, hey,
It's funny, I was going to mention cold calls because that's another thing
Right.
that aligns so strictly. I don't know if there's a logical link up with that or what, but I know you hate cold calling,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
know Andrea hates cold calling. Both of
Right.
you almost an equal amount of dread when you mention cold calling.
Yeah, so
I like my calls warm.
I'm a warm call man.
Hey, what do you call it?
Yeah,
They're like,
I like them damn near hot.
They're like, I want to buy. I'm like, good.
I
I knew why you're calling.
Yeah, I was not a salesperson. I just realized it very quickly, and it wasn't their fault. It was just not the job for me, and
Yeah.
so I called some friends that I knew over at WESH, which is the NBC station here. They had a position to do their internet stuff, so that was kind of the beginning of breaking stories on the internet and reporters sending you stories, and the internet and the apps being the place to get your news.
Yeah.
And so they were just growing that team, and so I went there. But getting up, it was right. I was doing the morning shift right as Daniel left.
Yeah, it was wild.
And so for me to get up at 3:00 in the morning, and I would get off at 1:00, I would come home, I'd fall asleep for a little bit, but I needed to go to bed by 8 o'clock. It got really tough.
That was a tough one.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend reach out to me who worked for Bright House. So Bright House was the cable company.
Well, talk about Wesh for a second, too.
Okay.
I mean, let's go back for a second. The other thing that was really crazy about Wesh is that it was at the height of the Casey Anthony trial.
So,
And
yeah.
Andrea would come home some days and it'd be like, can we just not talk at all? Because
Right.
I've been writing stories about a baby's murder for 6 hours.
It was Casey Anthony. Then you got hit with the Trayvon Martin, George
Oh,
Zimmerman.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like the gal that burned down the senator. There was just a lot
Well, that
of
one's
like,
funny. I can make jokes
Right,
about
yeah,
that stupid old bitch. I can make
but that
jokes
one
about
sticks
that.
with
Yeah,
you.
the crackhead in
Yeah.
the whole tree.
Andrea
It
was
was the-
very.
That's funny.
It pissed off Andrea
It
so
made me
bad.
so
Andrea's
mad.
like, I'll beat that lady. I was like, why are you so
It was the
upset?
2 kids that were
Yeah.
found burning on the Katy Way
Oh,
Trail.
that was a rough one. That
Like,
was a rough
there
one.
were like, and
Don't buy drugs.
as the person, I would get the police reports and I would have to go through what is appropriate in this police report for you as the general audience to read. So I'm reading some really
Horrible thing.
Yeah.
horrible stuff
Yeah.
that sticks with you. And I didn't have a kid at the time.
I'd
but
have her take pictures of it and send it to him. No, I'm kidding. I would not. I don't
If
want to
I
hear.
were-
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear
That's
one
rough.
thing about it.
Right. If I wanted to have a kid down the road or something, I'm reading about, baby
Autopsies,
killing, rape
exit,
and murder.
bullet exit
and
wounds,
It-
bleed outs.
it's just really rough. And then, TV stations were they just want clicks. So you're making slideshows that are 100 slides long of,
Talk about your headlines you'd have to write.
I mean, just any headline.
And
You
now
have to just
you
write
didn't-
headlines
you
to
were-
make people click, SEO
clickbait.
on those
But you
headlines.
you were completely conflicted. Because she would be writing headlines, and then we'd have text conversations where she's like, "Well, I'm not going to say that," or "I can't say that." I mean, it's hard, right?
Yeah, because you're writing, you can't give away everything.
Well, you
want
also
them-
don't want to go against you don't want to be
You have to-
clickbaity, Andrea.
Well, and you have to write to AP standards and everything. So, and you're taking what a reporter says and turning it into something that's digestible. So a reporter speaks and they write how they speak on TV, but that's different than how we read on TV.
And you
on
also
the
got,
internet.
didn't you get all the emails about the
Get all the
newscasters?
yes, I would
about,
have to filter.
This newscaster has her titas jacked up, and I am calling the police.
Right. how they
yeah.
how they
Oh, crazy
looked,
people.
how they dressed, how they deliver the news. If somebody slurps one more time, I'm changing
Yeah.
the channel. If you broke in for breaking weather or breaking news and you preempted their Entertainment Tonight or their
Baseball.
whatever show, they
Yeah.
would lose their minds.
Don't get
and
in front
so-
of the soap operas. You're going to get a couple of emails.
slow news day.
If you send an email about a newscaster's blouse, you've wasted your life.
No, you know what's funny, dude?
Yeah, I mean, that's
You know what's funny?
absurd.
Proof positive, though. What's
Oh.
really funny about that? I agree with you 100%. But based on Andrea, they all get read, don't they? Like
Yeah,
all that
somebody's
feedback,
gotta read
all
it.
that feedback gets read, and people get in trouble for that. I remember,
Not if Tom Van was running the show. I want to send those to junk.
I remember you telling me
well,
of
somebody's
emails.
got to read it, and then you decide whether you send it to
Right.
a person or if you just
Any
delete
listener,
it.
delete. Because, well, they're all crazy.
How many chat room wants to know how many times you had to jump into Jeopardy? They hate that.
Well, I wasn't on Channel 9. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
you know
Entertainment
that.
Tonight.
I don't know my channels. I don't know my channels.
Yeah.
And then you caught the tail end of having to, and this is kind of interesting because it's a news fact, but you were like one of the first people that realized that tonight shows or late night shows were going to become a series of little clips that Andrea would edit out and put them all over the Wesh or
Right.
whatever. Because
You're trying to grow their social media.
Yeah, she was there the beginning that they started dissecting the quintessential late night show. Because now it's just a clip show. It might as well just be The Roots and Jimmy Fallon sing a Christmas song with Mariah Carey. It's a 2-minute video.
Right. So you're on your own newscast finding those things, or you're working with. So Wesh is a part of Hearst, and so if your Hearst station in Vermont had a crazy moose story, they will send you that clip, and then you put it online and write a funny thing on social media.
moose.
So you can get it shared and
There you go.
your own stuff.
So was it about just the job itself? You're like, I don't want to do this forever.
Well, I
think
also
it- I
had
think
a
it burned
friend.
her out.
So I had a friend reach out and say, "Hey, you want to work a 9 to 5? You're still in, the writing, the marketing, communications field, but you can work a 9 to 5. You have weekends off. You're not writing stories about
Yeah.
murder.
But who are you working
rape.
for?
Yeah.
So then that's when I went to cable. So
For me, when I heard that, I'm just telling you the truth. When she's like, I'm going to work for the cable company, I was like, oh God, I can't tell people that. I can't tell people where you work.
Bright House.
It's like a digital shoe store.
Yeah, no, Bright House. I couldn't tell. I was afraid. I didn't
As
like
a
telling people. I'd be like, well, where's your wife work? She works at a chicken guy. I wouldn't say anything but Bright House because people hate the cable company.
Bright House as a company to their employees
They were
was
good.
very
They were
good
very good.
to their employees.
They were.
You know, as a cable company, people had their opinions. So I went to work there. I was doing internal communications for them. So I didn't have to like customer face. I was doing anything just to tell our 8,000 employees across the country what was going on.
Including the porno channel.
Everything. We got
Everything. I could go, and if I wanted to load up Black Valley Girls, and it was on the thing, free, any movie I want. That's a dangerous game to play with me.
Free porno.
Free, but it's like big porno. Big HD 4K, dude, from Bright House.
Right.
Bikini Car Wash. I can stream it anytime I wanted to. Bikini Car Wash 2, 3, and 4.
I really loved Bright House. I loved my boss. I loved my boss's
I love your boss.
I actually just came from lunch with them because I still talk to them, hang out with them to this day.
And they know us, and they listen to the show, and they've been to our events.
Loved
and stuff.
them.
Yeah,
but
they're good folks.
Bright House sold to a parent company. So it was at Bright House, Time Warner sold to Charter Communications and became Spectrum.
Yeah. Big
So
business.
After 2 years at Bright House, then it sold to big business. It was totally different.
Yeah. It's like
My
all your
job
bosses change
changed.
instantly.
People were having to leave or being asked to leave left and right.
And I know our listeners know this one. When you know that you're going to get a promotion and that's sort of set in motion, but now that it's been sold, your entire path is different now. Like that's gone. That's gone.
And all the equity you built with the manager because
No, they're gone.
Yeah.
Henry's gone, so
you
you
have no one
start
to talk
over.
to. You
So
have
my
no point of
boss's
contact.
boss, instead of being local, is now in Connecticut and has no idea. They would come down here from Connecticut and think they could get from Orlando to Tampa in 1 hour. They'd be like, oh.
Well, Tom thinks that too. I mean, no offense. I love you, buddy.
They just didn't know the Central Florida area, and like we were over Tampa, St. Pete area, and they think like why does it take you 4 hours to get from
Do you know how many people are here?
Ocala to the coast, the other coast? Like it was just they just didn't know a lot, and I would have stayed. But I honestly was so bored because they were still going through this merger.
You just take that spectrum.
They just didn't know what to do with the areas. They had gone from, it was Bright House at 8,000 employees to like 200,000 employees. They're trying to get the details down of how these areas were going to work.
Also, the changes
And
that
I
were
was
being
bored.
implemented were so slow. Like, eventually they did. Hopefully, I'm okay saying this, but they did get like where she was going back in queue. But they're like, I know it was going to take this amount of time before. Now it's going to be like it's going to take like 4 years.
Right.
Okay, hold on a second.
And then you're like, it's going to take a while for this company to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I don't want
Cruise
to be
ship.
involved
Turning
with
a
this.
cruise
Right.
ship.
Right. And they did more like events. I then became like an event planner.
Oh,
and I hated
another thing that I'd like to line up with you.
Right.
Logical
I hated-
people hate planning events.
I hated planning events, and they were like,
It's horrible.
They're
they were
hard.
giving back
They're
events,
hard.
and we're building, kind of like.
You did good.
Not
I
like
will tell you,
Habitat for
you did a
Humanity.
good job with
I
it.
did a good job because I'm organized and stuff, but I hated planning events.
Yeah, that's honest.
See, this is where me and Andrea differ because if this happened, this is when I would turn into my all-time favorite thing, which is an employee ghost, where they pay me, but I'm not even like I just slowly disappear.
You can't.
And then I disappear in the paperwork of a giant corporation, and they just
where is he? No one knows.
Keep paying me.
Ghost, he's a ghost in the machine.
It's an anomaly.
It's a ghost in the machine.
Every once in a while, I'll write an email. Anyways,
no one knows.
Go ahead.
So after 4 years, I was just so bored, and so then again, use your connections. I have a friend.
Now, keep in mind that how would you categorize this? Would you say that the majority of the arguments that we've had have been over like
Yeah.
like you wanting to get a new job?
Yeah, Daniel hates when I come to him and I'm like, so.
Yeah, I do. Well, I don't hate it.
Well,
That's not
it
fair.
kind of builds up and I'm like,
What do I suffer from? Crippling anxiety.
I'm like, I already have, and I have learned over the years to come to him when I already have an exit plan or when there's already a plan in place.
That's what Tom does. He waits. He doesn't want to he doesn't want me to blow my smokestack before he gives me the plan.
I don't want to be
point,
like.
I tell him after the event, I'm like, the event was a success. You're like, oh,
okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Right. I don't want to tell you that I'm so unhappy and bored. So I'm like, hey. A friend from WUCF, which is the PBS station here, called me and has a communications role available. I'm going to go apply and interview for it.
That's right, the UCF job. Yeah. It's so funny because I remember every one of these things.
Weird?
I remember
she
the
came
time.
all the way back to UCF radio.
Yeah.
It's like she was in charge of the entire blanket station, right?
So I was communications manager for WUCF, so it's the TV, and then 89.9, which was the jazz radio station that's been out there for now like 45 years. So I would do the communications. That meant social media, any written communications, press releases, events.
That's hard, though.
And all of that. And
because this is back on. So now when you're working for that, it was like working with a radio station when a hurricane would come or something like that.
Right, yeah.
It was like, she's man on the clock now.
Right, and social media has changed so much since the beginning of it, and you want clicks from it, you want engagement, and you just cannot beat the algorithm, unfortunately, as a company, and that's where a lot of pressure was, and it just it will burn you out.
Get us 1 million hits. And you're like, you don't understand. This is a million hits is kind of like an anomaly. It just you know.
It gave me a different perspective of social media, seeing you do it professionally. It's weird. Tom and I do it professionally, but I don't look at it like that, right? You doing it for a company really changed the value that I saw, because you would do things that should have been home runs and they wouldn't be.
Right.
And then you would do things that were dumb and they would be home runs.
Well, too.
Leading to me thinking, like, almost thinking that
it's all by chance.
Yeah, it is kind of the way it taught me, because you would struggle so hard to do these engagements for, like, let's say a Daniel Tiger thing or something.
Right.
And it just wouldn't pop. And I'd be like, what do you mean? So many kids watch Daniel Tiger on PBS. That's crazy. And then you do something else that shouldn't have hit.
Well,
and
PBS
it would just
has a weird audience. They have these ultimate young for the cartoons.
No
for
middle.
The whole
There's
thing.
no
and
middle.
And then you have like ultimate old people who are watching, Lawrence Welk
it's like,
and all
it's
of
Death
that kind of stuff.
and Baby New Year are the only two people watching.
It's Old Young, my favorite porn category.
So that was
Old is
really,
short.
really tough. And then you have the pandemic happens and everybody goes home.
Oh yeah.
And I realized I really like being home.
Yeah, work from home. Yeah.
I'm a one that, loves working from home. I thrive in that quiet environment. I'm organized. I can set my day.
You should
I
see
plan
her
out my day.
office now. Like, she has the multiple. She has the mega screens, and then she gets.
It's made for you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is.
So,
and she's in our old studio, which is really kind of neat.
And I changed. So during the pandemic, I changed my job completely because I wanted to stay home. I wanted to get out of that having to do social media communications. So what I thought I couldn't do years ago, I did at like 40 years old. I totally changed my job.
Yep.
And I wish I had done it years ago. I never knew that this job existed.
And if you would like to see
and
her,
I love it.
she is at, I believe you're at, you're
Diamond Club.
switching between Diamond Club and dancing. I think it's Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
But she does it at home. It's just a video screen.
Yeah.
But there is an auto blow in there that you can use. And she has a pink wand, and when you tip, it is live. It is live tipping.
And you're some sort of scrumptious something.
Scrumptious. You're scrumptious. Don't you ever call my wife scrumptious. Get the hell
It's
out of
something
here.
like that.
So at this job, I started as a Scrum Master.
Oh yeah, that's it.
But now I'm a corporate project manager. So I've already moved to the
Because you went back to
corporate
school,
team.
right?
Well, I'm right out in the middle of my certification, and
Jesus
so
Christ.
just trying to do that. And so my company has a corporate project management office. My boss is in Connecticut. I have 3 people in France, 1 in California.
I'm a certified female body inspector.
Now, would you like to work with us and be our office manager because we are disorganized?
I've tried that multiple Christmases. I would come in here and
every
try
Christmas
to
she
order.
cleans your desk and you never notice it.
Right. I just piles. I tried to get my child to come in here and help
No,
me
she
clean.
said Maisie's going to get a summer job.
Yeah,
She
She's
said.
already hired. free pinball whenever you want. And then we'll have guests come in that I obviously invited in, and I forgot.
No, that's me. He's dropping something off for me, but I think he's just sitting patiently.
The whole time I was like, I invited Dr. Powers for a meeting, and now I'm making him wait.
No, I think he's just swinging something by for me, and he's just being very kind.
By the way, Dr. Powers from myeternalvitality.com, a great sponsor of ours. Andrea uses them.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
And if you have any hormone problems,
I feel bad for you, son. That's what I say.
Yeah, want some testosterone? They do a lot more. But
female hormones.
If you're
I think
having hormone problems, I feel bad for you, son. Dr. Powers got hormones, and you better get some. Or so, I don't know. I'll work on it.
Yeah.
Peptides, they do a lot. So it's myeternalvitality.com. Andrea, thanks so much for coming.
Appreciate you, babe.
I'll see you guys soon.
We will.
We need a guest tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow.
I have a job I have to do.
Yeah,
Didn't
you
I
can do
just
it for
tell
me.
you about them all?
Get Maisie to come in.
All right.